What's up, everybody? Dan Tortora back here at Hooters iDrive of Orlando. Very happy to be here. Hooters Week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, live from iDrive exclusively on 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. We've had guests throughout the week, and I'm very excited to welcome my good buddy, brother in arms, I would say, here, and the father of my awesome nieces and nephews. So shout out to Carter, Carly, and Gracie, and that's Mr. Jason Lucas. Jason has a very unique touch on the world of sports, as he has worked in multiple front offices of professional organizations, as well as been in the media. He's joining me today from Hooters on iDrive. Come out and see us, see the Hooters Girls, grab some awesome food, join us for lunchtime. That's why we changed the wake-up call hours of 9 to 11 to noon to 2, so we could join you for your entire lunch hour all throughout the week, from this past Monday, August 22nd, to tomorrow, Friday, August 26th, for the College and Pro Football Preview Week, as we will bring you to the door of college football. We end here on the 26th. The first games are on the 27th. And starting tonight and through the weekend, we're bringing you through the final preseason games of the NFL. So Wake Up Call, perfect timing to bring you the football season collegiately and professionally. Jay Bird, how we doing?
Man, welcome here to Orlando, where it is 95,000 degrees outside. If you brave that to come in here with us today,
yeah,
we love you.
It's hot inside, it's hot outside. My thermostat in the hotel is set to 60, and it's still somewhat warm. So I'm happy to be here and definitely having a good time, and proud to be inside of Hooters iDrive here in Orlando, Florida. Come out and see us, 8801 International Drive in Orlando. Thanks to everybody watching and listening on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. You can see it on your screen right now. Thank you for joining us once again. YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all /WakeUpCallDT. You can also find us on Facebook.com /LiveNowDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage. So however you're tuning into the show, thank you so much for being a part of it, where sports meets that thing called life. Now, we're going to talk about a lot of different things today, but you have the UCF Twitter Mafia that you are a part of, that follows you. I would like to think that I am an honorary member of this, since I've been defending UCF for almost a decade now.
Good God, yes.
So I think the UCF family should welcome. I don't know. I mean, do you have the authority to knight me into the UCF family, or does somebody else have to do it? Okay. Yeah. Here, use my straw.
There you go.
Okay.
Welcome to the UCF Twitter Mafia.
Thank you. So describe the UCF Twitter Mafia in your own thoughts.
So don't say anything against UCF and expect to get away with it. Pretty much is how we've rolled for the last 9 years now on there. 2013 is when I jumped into it. Been a big family. I mean, it's a family atmosphere. We all take care of each other, not only on Twitter but in real life, behind the scenes of things you don't even see. One of our dear friends, Lynn Cheek, just passed away last week, and we had a huge memorial for her on campus. The band was there, half the football team was there. Really just a beautiful thing to see everybody come together
to
support her. So yeah, it's a family atmosphere, but yeah, don't disrespect our football team, or we're coming after you on Twitter for sure.
So who would you consider the bigger Twitter Mafia? Bills Mafia or UCF?
The Bills Mafia is probably craziest and more charitable, as far as like they've got a lot of money. I've seen some of the things they've done, but for our size, UCF does really well with the Twitter Mafia, and we all get together regularly and take care of each other. It's really a great thing to be a part of. I've been blessed to be a part of it, and it's something that I didn't even realize I was getting to be a part of when I jumped into it.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's gone crazy since 2017 especially.
Well, and I got to ask you about this too, is that UCF has come together for Otis Anderson and his family and his passing, and just what you could say about that side of things, and making sure that, you've been there for each other, for his mom, and you did something really special for the family that I'd love to have you share that.
Yeah, I don't know what the final number on it was. I know they had a GoFundMe for his mom, and Mama D, shout out if you're watching. They did do a GoFundMe to try to, get everything together. Like I said, I don't know what the final number was. But we had the memorial service, and I, of course, went to that. And wore a shirt for everybody to sign. And so I gave that to Mama D. And so she had something to remember that day by, because I know that was a really hard day that, as somebody who's lost his child too, you know, I've gone through that. And, you know, it's all kind of a blur, but to have just something solid to remember, I think it's something I wish I had. So from the bottom of my heart, you know, that's what that came from. And yeah, we love and miss Otis, man. It's that dude was UCF.
Yeah.
And had a very bright future in the NFL. We all thought he was with the Rams. And it's unfortunate what happened, and we all absolutely miss Otis.
Yeah, you know, and he was such an incredible player to cover, and he was one of many, many weapons, right, that the UCF has. And just watching what he did on the field, you can't say enough about a player and a weapon like that. And I just remember rooting for him, wanting him to find an NFL team, wanting him to catch on, wanting him to find a place. So, you know, that, you know, when we look back on it, I mean, that really hurt to see the fact that here he was with the chance, with the opportunity to really go out there and see his dreams come true.
Yeah, it's, you know, one of the guys that's there now, Johnny Richardson. I remember when Otis was still alive, he said, Jason, I swear that's the next me. And Johnny Richardson is one of the fastest backs in the country.
Yeah.
He's second string, but only by name. He'll be out there right behind Bowser this year.
Yeah, I just spoke with Bowser about him, and he said a lot of great things about Johnny.
Dynamic,
Yeah.
and he's a lot like Otis was. Otis was very dynamic. He could take over the game in just a couple of plays. I mean, that 2018 AAC Championship game, Otis had some adversity to face because he fumbled a punt, muffed the punt, and then first play of the second half, he catches a 64-yard touchdown pass, and then the next punt he catches and almost takes back to the house and puts us in beautiful field position. Next thing you know, 17-point game becomes 3-point game, and then we were up by 17 at the end, I think it was. So, yeah, can't say enough about the kind of football player he was and leader on the field. Those guys all spoke about what kind of leader on the field he was, how he took young guys under his wing, and yeah, man, miss him. Just miss the guy, man. It was a lot.
You know, and we live in a world, and I unfortunately, in the same respect, and I want to pay my respects to Devontae McFarland, who just passed away, another running back, and of Syracuse. Spent a lot of time with Devontae McFarland. Devontae not only has been on the show, and I shared my YouTube interview that I had with him in 2013, and whatever else I could find, I'll share, because I like to go back and get to see his face and hear his voice when someone passed away. I did that with Fred Reed, coach that was at SU, that spent the last 7 years going to year 8 at Eastern Michigan, and passed away like immediately recently on, I think it was on it was on Mother's Day this year.
Wow, terrible time.
So, and his wife, who I had never met, never talked to, I got a message at 10 o'clock at night, and she said, "Hi, Dan," and she put her name, and she said, "I know that Fred would want you to see this. Thank you for everything that you said. You're always good to my husband. Like, I appreciate it."
Yeah.
And she sent me a picture of the staff room at Eastern Michigan that now has his picture and name on it.
Beautiful.
So, like, you know, in the last few months to have Fred pass away and Devontae, we talked about it off the air that in the world that we live in, you know, when the more people you interact with, the more people you know, the more people that you spend time with, the higher the probability that you're going to get that call or that text message.
Yep.
And Amari Palmer, who was with me on Monday, a.k.a. Odyssey Jones, he's the one that texted me. I was at Animal Kingdom. I was going in, and he said, "It's a shame to hear about D-Mac." And I was like, and I had no idea what happened.
Yep.
So, Devontae McFarland, young guy. Literally, I had just made a list. I'm notorious for writing notes on, like, envelopes that a bill will come in, and I'll just use the blank envelope and write a list. And I wrote down all my Syracuse guys that I wanted to reach out to, see where they're at, see what they're doing. And Devontae was on that list. And he would recently, you know, as recent as probably like last year, he would watch the show. And when one of the guys was on, one of his teammates, he wouldn't even be on the show. Mm-hmm. And he would just be sitting there, and he would let you know he was watching. He's like, "What's up? You know, what's up, everybody? Say hi to this guy." You know, and he was always really, really supportive. And I think people need to know that more than anything, that these players are not just players, they're people first. And when you get to know them in the way that Jason and I do, we have interviewed them, we have worked with them, Jason's overseen them, and beyond that, though, we build the friendship, and the friendship is what lasts. So when Devontae passes away, I'm not like, oh man, it's a guy I interviewed. It's like, oh man, it's a guy I care about. Yep. Same with Otis, same with Fred Reed. So I do want to spend this morning taking a moment of silence in honor of Fred Reed, Devontae McFarland, and Otis Anderson. I always say, never that far away and never really gone.
Yeah.
Not physically here, but never gone. Otis, you will live on. Devontae, you will live on. I've seen it in your teammates. God bless you in heaven. And Fred, I've already seen you live on. So, you know, if it tells you anything in life, hug the people you want to hug, love the people you want to love, tell people how you feel, even if it makes you vulnerable, and be there, be present. Text them, call them, see them if you can. If you can't see them, call them. If you can't call them, text them. Make sure text is the last thing you do, and unless they're working or something, but make sure you make the effort. And if you're around people that go to bed making you wonder if you matter, making you wonder if you count, going to bed angry, ignoring you, silencing you, then get those people out of your life. Because with the passing of Devontae McFarland, it's a reminder to me that if somebody can write me out of their life like it's nothing, then those people don't belong. But I'm never going to be a person that can just write somebody out that I care about.
Right.
Because life is way too precious, and I will promise you, you will regret the day that you didn't pay attention. And, you know, I mean, it is. I mean, there's people saying, I wish I answered that text message, I wish I answered that phone call, you know, and with Fred, when he passed that month before on Easter, I was sitting there between 10 and 11, and on holidays, I try to text as many people as I can, and I'm with family, with loved ones, whatever, but then I'm always like trying to spend some time reaching out to people.
Right.
And I think in Easter, I sent like 200-300 messages, but I wanted to genuinely wish all those people individually a happy Easter. And I remember I was doing that, and I was thinking to myself, should I do this? I should go to bed. I'm tired. I want to relax. And I'm like, you know what? No, I want to do this. Yep. And the last message I sent to Fred was Happy Easter.
Wow.
So if I hadn't done it that day,
yep.
You know. So, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
So get those people out that don't care. And if you do care, please don't be silent about it. Because life is too precious.
Absolutely.
So UCF, you're wearing the hat today.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. We're in the heart of Orlando right now. We're live from iDrive. It's Hooters Week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are exclusively down here, only at Hooters iDrive, 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. Thanks to everybody that comes out for lunch and to grab a beer and hangs out. Thanks to everybody on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. And being in Orlando, I don't need the excuse, but I'll take the excuse that we have the excuse to talk about UCF, the largest campus in America.
Hey-o.
Because it's downtown and it continuously has grown. So UCF was one of the top 3. Now I believe with the downtown area, it is the largest campus in America.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So where would you like to start in the world of UCF?
Can we start on the offense?
Yes, we could start on the offense.
So Gus Malzahn named the starter the other day, John
Yep.
Rice Plumlee.
Yep.
Out of Ole Miss, straight from Ole Miss. Faster than a small town rumor. And the only thing we're worried about is his ability to throw the ball.
Okay.
But it's okay because we have Bowser.
Yeah.
And Richardson.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other names I could drop.
Yeah.
So amazing to think. Dan almost just fell, everybody. Amazing to think that we're so deep at running back, at receiver. It's going to be a good offensive season for us with a lot of a balanced attack, I would say.
Yeah, so I interviewed Bowser going into the season. So in my AAC preview week, I had every single one of the 11 schools there for the American Athletic Conference, a.k.a. the AAC, and I interviewed Bowser, and I asked him about Johnny Richardson. and he had nothing but good things to say about that 1-2 punch. You see it all the time. You go to the game. So how would you describe the 1-2 punch of Bowser and Richardson?
I mean, the defenses aren't going to know what hit them, and there's talk of maybe a 2-back set with them on either side.
Yeah.
Of John Rice. So defenses aren't going to know what to do, because if you fake it to Bowser, and they've been tackling Bowser all day, and that's not an easy feat, ask the Florida Gators. Then you get it to Johnny, and Johnny gets in space, and the next thing you know, he's gone. Yeah. It's over. So, yeah, defensive coordinators are definitely going to have a lot to prepare for when they're getting ready for that Gus Malzahn offense, and that's just the running game. If they're able to throw the ball to Ryan O'Keefe and the dangerous receivers that they have now.
Yeah, I also interviewed O'Keefe too, and asked him about the quarterbacks, because at the time it hadn't been chosen. So,
right,
he was like, he's going to go out there, he's going to do what he's got to do, he's going to play the game that he needs to play and get after it. He's just looking for that ball to get out to him. So, you've had a bunch of different quarterbacks in the last few years due to injury and just guys having to fill in, guys having to move around and whatnot. So, how would you describe the quarterback situation of the last 5 years at UCF?
Oh man, it's been the best room, I think, in the last 5 years. Easily the best room. I mean, Mackenzie Milton. Yeah. Going back to the years that he was there, you had him leading the room. You had Dylan Gabriel. Beyond that, Dylan Gabriel leaves, and Mikey Keene came in and did a great job last year, taking over. Had just a surprising season, I would say. It could have been a lot worse, and you end the season beating the Florida Gators in the Gasparilla Bowl. Yeah. With him hitting O'Keefe on a deep ball that kind of put that game away. So, he did great, and now with John Rice coming in, and Mikey's going to be his backup. Thomas Castellanos is the, third string, you'd say. And then just this past week, Timmy McClain, the starter from USF, comes over to UCF just to add to that room. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches they have in that quarterback room, and that they've had for the last 5 years.
Seeing the quarterbacks develop and everything, Dylan Gabriel obviously has made the move, and I believe it was you who said it to me when they had the graphic going into college football season as we are now. A couple of years ago, they had the graphic up of returning college football quarterback starters.
Yeah.
And Dylan Gabriel was not on the list, and now he's at Oklahoma. So for those of you that understand what I've already talked to Jason about, where you say UCF doesn't matter, UCF doesn't matter, UCF doesn't matter, and then Dylan Gabriel goes to Oklahoma and like, yo, we got to steal. No, you didn't, because UCF didn't matter to you. But Dylan Gabriel goes from forgotten man 2 years ago, not on the list 2 years ago, to now Oklahoma quarterback. So I think, once again, the quote-unquote Power 5 has displayed the fact that if you want to be the best, you have to take from these teams in the American, like UCF.
Yeah, pretty much that's how it goes. Actually, a funny story, when Dylan entered the portal, UCF basketball was playing against Oklahoma right at that moment that I found out about it. I was leaving the basketball game against Oklahoma. Yeah. I think he's top 5 on all those lists now. And, good luck to him. I hope Oklahoma has a great season, and that they, come in ready next year when we're going to be in the Big 12 with them. So it should be a lot of fun to maybe, possibly, if he stays, see that matchup. I mean, we don't know what the future holds. So, yeah. But, yeah, good luck to Dylan, man, because he's a hell of a quarterback. I would love to see him do really well and be in the Heisman conversation at the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's, from Mackenzie Milton, who went to FSU, to Dylan Gabriel, who went on to Oklahoma, you have these guys that, and then the opposite way, Brandon Wimbush, who didn't fit in Notre Dame and came to UCF and didn't fit there either. Yeah. So, there's something to be said about what UCF brings in and how other teams want that talent, and that it didn't work the other way. Yeah. So, I think, has UCF essentially become a place that you think is in good enough footing to say that who they recruit are some of the best diamonds in the rough, if you want to call it that?
Well, yeah, day one, Gus Malzahn said that he was going to recruit like his hair was on fire, and he was going to build a fence around the Central Florida area. And, he's done just that, with Seminole High School, all the recruits he brought in from there this past season. He just had a commit from Lake Mary a couple weeks ago. it's really just crazy. I mean, Apopka too. Plenty of the guys from Apopka are on the team now.
Yeah.
And one coming. So, yeah, he's definitely started to build that fence and build that foundation of, hey, this is the state of Orlando.
Yeah.
We want you to stay here. We want you to come to UCF. If it doesn't work out and you go somewhere else, like Timmy McLean did, you're always welcome to come back. And Jimmy Horn, you're welcome to come back too.
Yeah, and I think, seeing this team and seeing Gus Malzahn, I mean, he's been there for a season, right? And in a bad year, in a not great UCF year, a winning record, and you beat Florida. So how would you assess Gus Malzahn's intro, his first impression at UCF?
I mean, I'd say recruiting-wise, amazing. Last year, I mean, the challenge he faced with a true freshman quarterback coming in after such a hard loss at Louisville. I mean, you lose Dylan Gabriel on the last play of the game. You lost Jalen Robinson, Jay Flash, your best receiver earlier in the game. Bowser gets hurt in that game as well.
Yeah.
So just a plethora of injuries happen all at once, and the next thing you know, you're on the road at Navy and you're starting a true freshman in a game where you don't get a lot of possessions because Coach Ken don't want you to get the ball.
Yeah.
So Coach Ken runs that sucker all the whole game.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you don't have enough possessions for the young kid to even get into the flow of the game. And you get behind and you lose. And it was just unfortunate how that went. But as the season went on, you could see Mikey getting better, getting more confidence. And as he got those 2 or 3 weeks of extra practice in before the Gasparilla Bowl, he looked like a different quarterback from like the second quarter on in that game. It was amazing to see him kind of grow up, and you feel comfortable having him in the backup role. So he's ready to go if anything happens to John Rice.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Mikey? I mean, what has he done that makes you believe that he can take over if he needs to? Like, what about last year made you feel comfortable with him?
Yeah, you could see the confidence grow. The confidence growing as the season went on. As we were able to, some of the games we were scraping by. East Carolina scraped by. Tulane, you scrape by. Temple, you go up there and blow them out, and you saw him throw some great passes down the field.
Yeah.
So seeing that confidence rise as the year went on, and then suddenly he's completing balls down the field. They're not having to call so many screens. So him making those plays, getting Bowser back late in the season helped out a lot too. So very comfortable having him in the backup role. We were all pulling for him to be the starter, but backup role is a good spot for him too. You can feel very comfortable if anything does happen that he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the UCF depth chart, like you said, talking about the offensive side of thing. John Rice Plumlee taking over, Mikey Keene there as well, and then Thomas Castellanos. And so we talked about the backfield and a little bit about Ryan O'Keefe. What other receivers? I mean, Deontay Marks, Jordan Johnson, Javon Baker, Joey Gatewood, Jalen Griffin. Who else sticks out to you? Kobe Hudson as well, Amari Johnson. Yeah. Is there a guy or two besides Ryan O'Keefe that you really like in the receiving corps?
I mean, I've definitely heard some good things about Jalen Griffin, Javon Baker. Definitely heard some good things about them coming out of camp. Kobe Hudson, too. Some great things coming out of camp on those guys, dynamic playmakers. So those are screens, too. The guys that you can get out in space, just get them the football and let them work. And then also Ryan O'Keefe is a deep threat that, shredded the Florida Gators when it mattered last year. So you got to watch out for those guys. There's just a lot of playmakers out there.
Yeah, so defensively, since we talked about the offensive side of the ball, defensively, who is sticking out to you that's returning onto this team? Where is the leadership on the defense for UCF?
Yeah, Newt Wilson on the back end of that defense is just a badass, or some people call him Devad, but we call him Newt Wilson. And number 9, he brings that wood back there. Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste at linebacker. He's a stud. He's sideline to sideline guy. He can make plays for you. And then up front, Josh Seliskar is probably my favorite. Josh Seliskar, Ricky Barber. Those guys can get to the quarterback, and they can also stop the run, which is what you want. You want to be able to do both things well, and those guys do that very well. So defense should be very strong.
Is there something that people don't know about UCF's defense and maybe they should? Sometimes they question if the defense can make stops. We know that the Griffin brothers were able to do that. We know that there's definitely been some dogs on the defense at UCF, but do they get an unfair assessment defensively, nationally, in your opinion?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were plenty of games, during those runs with Randy Shannon where you'd have lapses and they would give up 300 or 400 yards and a half, and then we'd call it second half Randy. They'd come out and they wouldn't give up anything. They've turned it over. Travis Williams, defensive coordinator now. Unbelievable high energy guy. We absolutely love his energy. And he brings a different scheme to the game. He attacks on defense. He goes after the quarterback.
Yeah.
A guy like Quadric Bullard is something you don't know about. He put on 30 pounds in the offseason, so he's playing a lot heavier. I think he was maybe 170 soaking wet last season. He comes in at about 200 pounds this year. So definitely a guy on the back end of that defense you got to watch too.
So that is an assessment of UCF as we talk here with Jason Lucas on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora about UCF. And you have been a fan for your whole life?
Pretty much since I was 5.
Yeah. Where did it start? Did it start with Dad? I mean, did Dad hand it down?
Yeah, my dad graduated from Florida Technological University back in 1972. So the first class of UCF was, I believe, 71. So
Okay.
he's the second class of UCF.
Okay.
And when they're at homecoming every year, they say, stand up if you graduated from here, and this year to this year. My dad is the last person standing every year.
Yeah, so it's and that's the thing. I mean, your dad, and when I went to one of the games, I got to see you and your dad.
Yeah.
There is nothing like having those moments. Papa Joe and Joey, who came in here on Monday, you hear Papa Joe typically every Thursday. He'll be back with us next week. He's in Wisconsin for a bit here, so might be next week or the week after. So shout out to Papa Joe and all the cheeseheads up there in Miss Mary T's family up in Wisconsin. So they came here on Monday, and they were coming through Orlando from St. Augustine on the way to Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Father, son, and Papa Joe like another dad to me, Joey like a big brother, and he calls us Meatball 1 and 2. So they were actually doing like what you and your dad do, is they were going down to a Tampa Rays game. They want to see Mike Trout.
Yep.
Because PJ loves Mike Trout, so for his birthday, that's what Joey got him. And by the grace of God, when people say, oh, how do you know that God exists? Mike Trout had not played. They bought these tickets. Joey bought them months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting, and PJ keeps saying, I hope Mike Trout gets to play. I'm going to be upset if he doesn't get to play. Hope he gets to play. And that Friday of last week, there's a thing, or on that Thursday, pardon me, the ticker says Mike Trout looks eyes return for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up at God, and I went, if he comes back on Friday, that means that PJ's going to get to see him on Monday. So they did their father-son, and they go to baseball games all the time. So I think it's really cool. My dad used to bring me to the Dome for Syracuse football games all the time. We had season tickets together. So there's something to be said about those moments with your dad.
Absolutely. I mean, I've already started to hand it down to Carly and Gracie. I took them to the spring game. They only lasted about 45 minutes because it was 95,000 degrees there, too.
I did see. I saw.
Yeah,
those
we got them
pictures.
out of there. It was like, okay. I mean, that was fun, and we got to see John Rice Plumlee and see kind of what it was all about. That's kind of what I wanted to see as the evaluator. Just wanted to see what this new guy was all about.
Yeah.
And got the girls out of there. It was just way too hot.
So I do want to make mention of this, and it's very important, very special. 12 years ago, I met with a gentleman by the name of Tim Baum. And Tim, after we began our fantasy football partnership back in 2010 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. When we began that, when I was down here working at ESPN 1080 The Team, Tim and I started the partnership, and he wrote a glowing, incredible, one of my first ever testimonials for a business that I worked with.
Nice.
All these years later, Tim and I reconnected, and I was telling him about what I do, and he goes, oh, I watch you on Facebook. He goes, I've been seeing your stuff for years. I know what you're doing.
Nice.
I know you're getting after it. And so we rekindled this partnership with Hooters, and we have been doing Hooters Week. We did it last year for football, college and pro football. This year for college and pro football. We are adding in March Madness coming up. So we're going to be doing a Hooters Week for March Madness coming up in March here at Hooters I Drive in Orlando at 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. And one of the greatest compliments, he's paid me a lot, and I want to thank you for that, Tim. One of the greatest compliments was one of the last times we talked on the phone, where I was in my kitchen, and I picked up the phone, and he said, the man, the myth, the legend, he said, what's going on? And Tim, to say something like that, I have only seen you 12 years ago to now. I've only seen you rise up the company, get more and more opportunity, more and more power in different things you get to do, a bigger area for you to oversee, and you are the main reason why I'm working with Hooters. So I want to thank Tim, and I say all that because it is Tim Baum's birthday today.
Hey!
We're going to say it's his 23rd birthday.
Sure.
That's what we're going to say.
Yeah.
But a big-time happy birthday to you, Tim. He always has been supportive. He's been on the show. He'll watch other shows. And he came onto the show and was watching this past Monday and said, and it meant the world to me, he said, I hope you have a great week. Thank you for the partnership.
Absolutely,
So,
man. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tim. You deserve the best. You have been loyal to me and good to me for over a decade. And without you, this doesn't happen. So thank you to Tim Baum, and big time shout out to you, to your family, to the graduates in your family, to I believe your daughter that just graduated, and I know he's a Go Gator. So I will shout out the Florida Gators here with a UCF guy.
It's cool.
So much love to you, Tim, and a very happy birthday. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are here inside of Hooters iDrive, live from iDrive. We're hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life on 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. We'll take this fast break, and we will be back with more conversation on the college football world, realignment, and more. And we'll get into the NFL and why people got a stick up their coolie for that man that's called Tua Tagovailoa. We'll get to him in just a little bit here on Wake Up Call, and the Hooters Girls will be joining us as well.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Hey everyone, it's Sydney from iDrive in Orlando. We can't wait to welcome Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on site at 8801 International Drive in Orlando. Broadcasting live Monday, August 22nd through Friday, August 26th during our lunch each day from noon to 2 p.m. Come see us girls, hear from Dan and his special guests, and preview the college and NFL seasons from the greatest seat for all sporting events. Hooters iDrive in Orlando.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here on the wonderful Hooters Week, live from iDrive. Always happy to be here at Hooters live from iDrive, hanging out with you, and we thank you so much for being a part of the show. So Jay Bird and I are here today. Big time UCF fan right here in the great heart of the state of Florida, and that is Orlando, the amusement capital of the world. So
For you.
very happy to be for me. So very happy to be here. Listen, I got the Jaguars. I've covered the Bucks, the Rays, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, UCF, South Florida, Miami, Florida State. So the high schools here. Yeah. So Florida is a second home. I have FAU now, and the brother of your former AD at UCF.
Yes, sir.
I have Brian White. You had Danny. So a lot of work here. I got Willie Taggart back for the third time. I either can't get away from him or he can't get away from me. So I've had him at South Florida. I've had him at FSU. I got him at FAU now. The only time I didn't have him was 1 year at Oregon. So really cool to have him be a part of the show, and always appreciate Willie Taggart. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I did talk to Brian White about the hiring of Willie, and he's ecstatic to have Willie Taggart. And I think Florida State made a massive mistake. And because Florida State, I think you need to understand something. It's called time. It's on most watches. And you need it because Jimbo got away from what I consider he understood was a blank storm.
Yeah.
And I talked to Willie, who was very candid with me about it. And I said, speak with me about kind of what's going on with the team, the culture, whatever. He said, I'm trying to figure out in the locker room right now who wants to be here.
Yeah.
They gave me a shim. Look at the 6 running backs in the NFL. And a bunch of them are starters or they will be starters. So Memphis is better because of Mike Norvell and Justin Fuente. Shout out to my dude as well. And I love that Mike Norvell is at Florida State. This is his 3rd year, but they played a few games in the COVID year, so I call this year 2.5.
Yeah.
I know Florida State is an enemy in the state of Florida, but what do you think about Mike Norvell? Because you saw him plenty of times when they played UCF.
Yeah, you gotta be patient with them, of course.
Yeah.
Mike Norvell came from Memphis, where of course we played them a lot, and Norvell rolled the dice a few times against us and never beat us. So you do have to be patient with him. He is kind of known for late game lapses, I think. I saw one of them last year in Florida State.
Jacksonville
when
State.
When they played Notre Dame, and then again against Jacksonville State a few weeks later, or a couple weeks later, whatever it was. And
I said, don't be surprised if Jacksonville State gets them because they did some good things the year before.
Yeah.
And then the prevent defense was not prevent at all.
No, that guy was open.
They waited for him to catch it. Then the guy pushed off of him from 5 yards out and ran diagonal into the end zone. It was the weirdest. It's kind of like when you play Madden and you're like, this is my last-ditch effort, and then your guy catches the ball and you're like, oh, my God, am I going to win this game?
Yep.
So I remember watching that game in real time going, this isn't possible.
Yeah.
Yet it was. So I'm a big fan of Mike Norvell. That defense, the defensive coordinator, needs a little talking to, I guess.
Yeah. No Jermaine Johnson up there this year. So
No Jermaine Johnson,
he was nasty.
too. By the way, so I'm a Jaguars fan, as many of you know. Another shade of green, forest green, the Jets. And I said, I was like, is my green color, right, wrong? What am I doing? Because I predicted the first, multiple picks by the Jets. The first 3 or 4 picks they had in the NFL draft. I predicted when they traded back in, I was like, Jermaine Johnson the second. I predicted
that's a great pick.
The Garrett Wilson one. I predicted my guy Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, for those of you that don't know Sauce, and you're going to get to know Sauce because now he's on Broadway, I have known Sauce for a minute here, and that dude can ball out.
Yeah.
And by the way, the guy on the other side of him, Kobe Bryant, spelled a little bit differently. Don't sleep on that dude either. For the bowl game, he wore number 8 in honor of Kobe Bryant. So,
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff when it comes to Cincinnati. So 9 play. Everybody wants to harp on Georgia, which I think was 12. Cincinnati had 9 players drafted.
Yeah.
9. Okay, we're talking linebackers, we're talking DBs, we're talking their quarterback.
That was a nasty
running
defense.
back. Jerome Ford is another guy in Cleveland right now who went to Alabama and then came and played at Cincinnati. And that man is a phenom in and of himself. And Cleveland always ends up getting those guys that can be those home run hitters that can ground and pound you but then break out.
Yeah.
So, and Cleveland's going to have to run the ball because due to the fact that they really, I guess, loathed Baker Mayfield so much that they were willing to roll the dice on Deshaun.
Right.
You don't have a quarterback now for the first 11 weeks of the season. However, if you keep my guy Jacoby Brissett from NC State, I do like him. I do like Jacoby. I don't think he's a 17-game guy for you, but I do like Jacoby.
Jacoby's kind of Jekyll and Hyde. I feel like there were games with the Dolphins last year where he was able to push the ball down the field a little bit.
He is.
But again, like, you've got to have those weapons too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult in Cleveland. It's always difficult to throw the ball there, the wind coming off the lake and everything else. So
this is how many receivers they have whose names you know. This is how many. Amari Cooper.
yeah.
Do you know Rashad Higgins? Or the other people? Do you know that list? There's no Jarvis Landry. There's no Odell Beckham Jr.
No.
And for some odd reason, rising up fantasy draft boards, not mine, even though I like him, I covered him at Miami, and I was high on him when he came out, but I'm not high on him in fantasy now because he hasn't produced. David Njoku. I don't know why people are like, oh, he's going to have a great year. I'm like, what, because there's no one else to throw to?
Right.
But
Very possible.
yeah, Cleveland's in a weird world right now, but we'll get to the NFL in a little bit. We've talked realignment. We've talked about the many changes that have happened inside of college football. I don't think it's done yet. I was flipping through the FM dial on the way here this morning just to hear what some of you down in Orlando have to say, and somebody was riding the same lines that I was, and the guy that was a guest on the show, he had said same thing that I said. He said, we're looking at two conferences going off on their own, and we're looking at everybody else. I don't think realignment's done, but he said, he goes, the Big Ten now goes from New Jersey to LA, and the SEC is the SEC. Now, the SEC, as much as they're growing, they're staying true to their region. And I don't think enough people bang home that point that they go from Texas over and then up to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they just have that. And I did my plenty of college realignment shows, including one with Jason. And I did my map show where I circled and showed you what I predict and what I got. So we're bringing you on, Rihanna. It's going to happen. So we will get to the map in just a little bit. We're going to have you come over here. You're going to come over this way. You're going to do awesome. Rihanna's going to be our first Hooters girl on the show today. She's going to give us that. Yeah, we're going to put her in the middle here. Come on, Rihanna.
Yay.
You got to see her in one of our promotion videos. So how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing very well. So you were training this week.
Last week.
This past week. How did it go?
It was good. I mean, I think she's still here.
Okay, so that's an interesting
And I
way.
trained Caitlin, who's also here.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you assess yourself as a trainer? How would you say you are as a trainer?
Good. Pretty good.
Pretty good trainer?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I couldn't say that I was bad.
Okay.
Because then I couldn't be a trainer.
Did you always want to be a trainer or no? Did you have it in you?
Yeah, I have it in me, but
Okay.
not like, oh, let me be a trainer, you know?
So you came here when?
Last September.
Okay. So right after we
Right
did our
after we
Hooters
did
week,
this
yeah.
last year.
Really?
So yeah, so you've had about a year here at Hooters I Drive.
Yeah.
How would you
crazy.
describe the team here, the family here?
Very passionate. We all love each other. Seriously, we all help each other out. We're literally just like a family.
What is it about this group that makes them a family? How would you describe the family?
We're all kind. I would say we're all kind and understanding. When someone starts and they don't do everything perfectly,
Yeah.
we all kind of guide them in the right way and help them understand how to do things the Hooters way.
Cool.
So for you, the best thing about being here is what? Is it the team? Is it the
Yeah,
group of people?
definitely the group of people. I've met most of my best friends here.
Do you now? I know some of y'all room together. Do you room with any? Do you have
No,
any place anyone here?
no.
Okay. All right.
My best friend does. She lives with another girl that works here. So that just shows they just met a few months
Yeah.
ago, and then they already live together.
Are you Orlando based before?
No.
No. So where from?
Down south, Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie. So you are a Florida native.
Yeah, a Florida
Which
native.
many people cannot say that. So that's
I can.
Yeah, you can. You can. And I
You
remember
from
some-
Orlando?
I'm from West Palm Beach, but I've been here for 30
okay.
something years.
Yeah, and people don't understand like where Port St. Lucie is. I'm like, oh, kind of by West Palm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow played minor league there for a year.
Yeah.
Dan,
Yes.
your boy Tebow.
Yes, yes. So Port St. Lucie, how would you describe Port St. Lucie?
To me, home, because my family lives there. But also, I'm happy I got out of there.
Yeah.
I would say,
Okay.
because when you grow up there, you're kind of just like, okay, I'm kind of done. There's really nothing to do when you're kind of my age. There's really nothing to do. So here, it's more like bar life, fun,
Yeah.
downtown.
Yup.
We don't really have a downtown in Port St. Lucie, so it's like,
I don't picture that it would.
They have
Yeah.
like a beach.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's in Jensen, you know?
Right.
Like, there's really nothing in Port
So
St. Lucie.
you like the tourist you like that this is like a city where there's a lot of life to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Favorite thing to do in Orlando?
Go downtown
Okay.
with my friends
I have
that I
never-
work with here.
Never been downtown.
You've
Really?
never been downtown? You
No.
lived here for a while.
For
How
as
did you know?
much as I am here throughout the year, I've never been downtown. I
have
was
to go
here the night
downtown.
that Pulse got attacked, though. I was here that night,
Jesus.
and it was like 20
I
minutes
wasn't,
away
thank
from
God.
me.
What? What happened?
Pulse.
Oh.
You didn't hear about the Pulse
No.
shooting a few years ago?
No. I didn't live here a few years ago,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
There
probably
was
why.
a very and I think every year they do a celebration for.
Yeah. At
Pulse.
the Orlando Predators, we do like shirts because it's 40. I think it's 49 was the number. 49 people passed away that night.
Oh my god.
So we put shirts on every seat for 49 people and just leave them empty for our game.
Aww.
A crazy night.
So, but yeah, that was an awful.
So you like going downtown. Are you okay? So I have to ask this because we had talked about it before. He took me out to Cowboys, which is not
Oh,
downtown.
Cowboys. Did
Yeah.
you go on a Thursday?
Yeah, we did.
We went on Thursday. Okay, so here's my thing.
I'm sure it was a Thursday.
I'm pretty confident it was. So I know how to dance, but I don't know their dances that everybody
The line
learns.
dancing?
And I don't know if there's a class you're supposed to take before you go.
There
Or
is.
like,
Yeah.
okay,
At like
so,
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he invited me out there. I knew nothing. And
So you just sit on the side?
well, I would try to get involved in it, but then like the country music would stop and the rap music would come on, and like Boys to Men would come on, and there was a line dance to that.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why does everybody flash mob know this?
I know.
So
well,
do
I guess
you
a
do
lot
it?
of people. I only know some
Okay.
line dances, not like the crazy ones that like a lot of
Yeah.
people know.
Like every 20 minutes, you're like, this one's
yeah.
mine.
Yeah, this one's mine. This one.
That's how I did it too.
And then like back on the side when the other ones go on,
Then back to
and
the beer.
everyone's like
Yep.
going crazy.
It
But
is a nice
a lot
class.
of like my friends, they just like YouTube like a bunch of line dances
Yeah.
and like learn that way. If you can't make like the classes, but
Yeah.
if you're not from Orlando, where do you live?
So I'm up in Syracuse, New York, and then I'm down here throughout the year for Disney stuff, and then Jacksonville Jaguars. This is my 12th year with them. UCF, South Florida,
I'm an Eagles
Miami,
fan.
Florida State. What'd you say?
Said I'm an Eagles fan.
You're an Eagles
Said it
fan?
She said Gators really quiet.
You said Gators?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
But honestly, I don't know. I like Gainesville, like Gators. They have more team spirit than we do here. Like
It's huge.
game day wise.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
I've
Here
never
it's
done
really
level.
nothing, but like tailgating there, it's like wild.
Wait, have
Never
you
been to-
tailgated here?
Here,
At a UCF game?
yeah, and it like
You went with the wrong people.
yeah.
Sorry.
But I feel like no, but it used to be way better
UCF
back
is
in the day.
great.
Now it's kind of like I don't know.
Syracuse does not count.
Like where the sororities and frats go, that's where like a lot of people go. But like I know like my friend, her boyfriend, like their frat had to like shut down their
Oh,
thing
yeah.
for like jumping on the tables and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
No.
No, like Memory Mall is where you go at UCF. It's right in front of the arena.
I've never been to
everybody's at.
Gainesville, but I've been to Tallahassee for Florida State.
I haven't been in Tallahassee.
Both of those scenes are crazy.
Tallahassee, the game was at 3. They started tailgating at 9 a.m.
The day before.
Yeah.
all the way up to started all the way up to the game.
Stayed up the whole night.
Yeah,
and
I've
then
done that
until
in
10 o'clock
Tallahassee.
that night. So it was about like a 12 to 13 hour tailgate that I witnessed, which was really, I mean, it was insane. And what they do in the beginning, they all get around the statue like 10 minutes before you go in. And then I said, I don't care what you're a fan of, if you go to Florida State's games and you see the Seminole come out on the horse, ride back and forth, and then jump up with the spear on fire and slam it down into the
Dude.
50-yard line.
I've never seen that.
You become a Florida State fan in that
Oh
moment.
my god.
I went last
I've never
year.
seen
They
that.
played Notre Dame
It's
opening
insane.
night, and it was Bobby Bowden night because Bobby Bowden had just passed away. So not only do you have the horse, the spear, the guy, but you have the fans chanting Bobby. Oh
my
man,
gosh.
the goosebumps were
Yeah.
just crazy, and then he jams it down. And you're like, that was insane. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
Nose.
Yeah.
Well,
And
nobody
then
told me
Mackenzie
about
played that game too. I went up there just to see Mackenzie Milton, and he got to come in and play and bring them back. They lost, but he brought them back.
So here, during the year, so you've seen the college football scene. What do you get? Do you get UCF? You get Florida, Florida State? Who do you get the most of? We're in Orlando.
Honestly,
but what do
I
you see?
really wasn't.
We know that Farron is a Gator all day. We talk plenty about that.
I don't really remember. the
From
type-
September to January,
Yeah.
what jerseys do you see? Are they blue and orange? Are they golden maroon? Are they golden black? She's like, I'm colorblind. Move on to the next
Yeah,
thing.
I'm like thinking. I don't know.
Do you see a lot
because,
of UCF? Or no?
No, not really.
Uh-oh.
I
That
think
changed
because
up.
we're
Probably
so
not down
far
here. It's
downtown,
touristy
like
down
yeah,
here.
we're like
Yeah.
tourist area. I think if we were closer to university, we would.
Yep.
But I really don't see a lot of people wearing jerseys and stuff coming in here. Probably because I started in September too, so I wasn't really
Right.
at the beginning, the first games and stuff.
Yeah.
But not really.
But you said, born in Port St. Lucie, but you said I'm an Eagles fan. Why?
My family is all from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did they move down here?
My sister's 25.
Now you gotta do
would
math.
Yeah, I'm like thinking. I would say 2000.
Okay. So you're still an Eagle
Somewhere
fan.
around
Do
there,
you
yeah.
watch the Eagles or you
Yeah.
just okay?
Yeah, I love the Eagles.
Do you have
They
a
play in
favorite?
Miami
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, I was
I
supposed
gave
I
up
was
my
gonna
tickets.
go. My sister and her husband have a box there, so we were gonna go.
Nice.
But yeah,
Do you have a favorite player right now?
the Eagles.
Yeah.
It was Ertz, but since he left, probably Hurts.
Jalen. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
All right. No, he's not bad.
No.
I like him
He's
more than
not
other
bad,
people like
yeah.
him. I don't know why they dog him so much.
But Ertz was my baby. I loved Ertz.
Yeah.
He's in Arizona now. He's like
Yeah.
109 years old, but he's still
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He's still good.
He
still
is
play?
good. I liked him. When the season with him and when Foles was our quarterback, when we won the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, that was like the best combo. And then when
was
Foles
insane.
left, I think Ertz kind of really didn't connect with
Foles came to my
Hurts,
team
really.
for 15 minutes.
Well, we were all pulling against Brady in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When he went, he tried to
Yeah.
catch the ball and it was a little too far.
But then Foles did the same thing and caught it.
Yeah.
It did it.
That was
yeah.
the
He's really
difference.
good, like under pressure wise.
He's
but like
also really cool.
regular wise, he's like, he's just really good under pressure.
He's a nice guy, and his wife actually has a rare disease that my buddy's wife has, which is called POTS. And I went up to him after, and he was like, "Oh, I already did the post game." I was like, "I'm not here to interview you. I'm just here to talk about it." And he was really nice about his wife and everything. So we only had him for one quarter in Jacksonville because he got hurt and then he
Yep.
got shipped away. So,
They paid him a lot of money to get hurt in that
but
first quarter.
I do not. I do.
Wentz
like
was
Nick Foles.
always hurt too.
Yep.
Always. I hated him.
He's going straight up.
Yeah, you could say it. Many fans, Philly fans, will agree with you wholeheartedly that
Yeah.
they had him most of the year, but never a full season.
Yeah.
The Colts had him.
He was
now
good when
Washington.
he was not hurt, but he was hurt most of the time. So I feel like you
was,
never
yeah.
could really see his full potential.
Yeah.
You know?
So, for being nervous before you came on, you're giving us more of a sports conversation than anybody that's been on this week with your Eagles love here. Have you
Yeah.
been up to Philly at
Yeah,
all?
yeah, a lot. I was actually, I think 2 years ago, we played Dallas in Philadelphia, and I went to that game. And there was like 2 Dallas fans like sitting by us, and everyone was just picking on them the whole time.
I call it
It's
the
really,
city.
it's
It's a city of brotherly
yeah,
hate.
yeah. Everyone, it was just so funny,
They say to never wear a jersey.
and we actually beat them too.
You never wear the jersey of the other team in Philadelphia. Even
Yeah,
if you
you
are a
don't,
fan, you
you
wear like
don't.
neutral colors.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
enjoyed the fact that, were you yelling at these Dallas fans as
No,
well?
but like my dad and my sister's husband, and they were all picking on them.
the
Everyone
only
picks on
stadium-
them. When there's only like a few of them, everyone just kind of
It's
takes
the
a
only
pick out of
stadium
them.
with a courtroom and a jail in it.
Oh my
Did you know
gosh,
that?
yeah. Down below.
Yeah, down below there's a courtroom
Down below.
with a judge
Your brother
ready to
Lee?
see you.
Perfect sense.
Yeah, and a
Philadelphia.
jail. Little
I didn't
holding
know that
cell.
it was the only one. Wow.
It's the
that's
only
funny.
stadium like that. Yeah.
Wow.
The people that threw things at Santa Claus back in the day.
And they booed Santa
They
Claus.
booed Santa
Yeah.
Claus. So yeah, Philadelphia is an interesting place.
Yep.
Very interesting place.
Very
Very
interesting.
cold place too.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna play rapid fire.
Oh,
And so we are
gosh.
here with Rihanna, of course myself, Dan Tortora, Jason Lucas. This is Hooters Week live from iDrive, 8801 International Drive in Orlando. Here throughout this week for you. Big shout out to Tim Baum, Jeff Spraker, Farron and the family, all the Hooters girls, and a shout out to Tim Baum on his birthday. Rihanna, we are going to put you in rapid fire for the first time
Great,
ever.
great.
So you did a great job, and the response to the video was very good. And you did it in one take, right? We did it in one take. Remember? So
Yeah,
it only
we
took her one
did.
shot. One shot. So we're gonna go rapid fire this way and then back. So I'll ask you, you'll ask Jason, then we're gonna come back.
The
around.
same thing?
No,
All the same question?
anything in the
Oh
world.
gosh.
But we have
Wait,
to
I'm
answer
not
it.
good at thinking
we
about
go.
questions.
This is live worldwide on video and
God.
audio, so I'm gonna ask you my
Okay.
first one.
Even
All
in
right.
China.
Yes. All right, Rihanna.
Okay. Can you help?
What is your dream vacation that you've never been on?
Crap, I literally had it in my mind. Italy. I want to go to Italy.
Good
Nice.
choice. I like that. I got family
I
there.
love
Yeah.
Italy. Crap, that was like a good one.
You can ask Jason anything. I've gotten asked some very hard
Wait, I'm answering questions now? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she asks you, and then we go back.
All right.
Yeah. You also spell your name very different than a typical
R-E-A-N-N-A,
Rihanna.
yeah.
That was gonna be my question, but
I don't know. What's your favorite football team?
Mine is the Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins.
And UCF, of course, too.
UCF.
Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah.
all right, Jay. Now you come.
My
with me.
question is like,
Now I go to Dan?
It's all right. Some people are like, "What's your favorite color?" I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Green.
I was thinking about saying that, but I knew that was way too easy. So.
Or I get asked the really stupid questions like, "How would you describe the color yellow to someone who's blind?" And I was like, "But those are things people look up." And I always say, I'm like, when a blind person feels the sun on their face, that's how I would describe it, because you feel it even though you can't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Yeah, Chris was like, she said that she's like, would you rather lose an arm or a leg?
I've had people ask me some weird questions. You're asking me now.
All right, you can tell us about your celebrity crush.
My celebrity crush. I have a couple. I would say it's Jennifer Aniston. It's been
Oh,
I
I
knew the
love
answer.
Jennifer.
because she's timeless, and I think she just turned 50. God bless her.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh, she does not look like it at
So
all.
Jennifer Aniston, Megan Good, and I gotta pick one more. Oh my
I
lord!
didn't say 3.
I know, but I'm
He's
going.
like, I'm gonna get it all out right now.
It's like I like a lot of celebrities.
No, there was
It's like, since you asked.
there was a couple. It's normally Jennifer. It used to be Tyra Banks and Jennifer Aniston, but it's probably if I had. Oh no, Kate Beckinsale and Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
There you go. All right, my one for you, Jay. Okay, you're president of the United States. You're president of the United States. You have to pick your vice president, and you have to pick the
Wait, is
first.
this me?
That's it.
Okay, good. I'm like, damn.
I wanted
nervous?
to scare you with that one. So you're
Me
the
too, I'm not political.
So you're the president of the United States. Who's your vice president? And what's the first thing that you do with your vice president?
I mean, shoot, my vice president. Should be somebody that's more political than me, right?
Well, it could be anybody.
I mean, I'm gonna have to make some phone
You
calls
could just
here.
make up that you're just so political and you could just pick someone else.
I'm gonna have to make some phone calls on that question.
See, I would pick somebody within like my people. I wouldn't pick anybody
Yeah.
that's in the field.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I might have to see who even wants to. I don't know.
I would just pick my
s-
best friend.
Yeah, I would say it's Dan. I would have Dan as my VP.
Oh, you guys are best friends?
And
I maybe,
oh my God,
niece,
we've known each other for 12 years.
Really?
Yeah.
He is the father to my
You go-
nieces.
Aw.
Yeah, Carly and Gracie.
Yep.
Hi guys. Carly's birthday
Hi.
Oh.
tomorrow.
Happy birthday,
Carly
Carly.
turned 7, and Gracie
Oh
just
my
turned 5.
God.
Yeah,
My little sweetheart.
Happy birthday.
they're awesome. They're the best, and they know the Darkwing Duck song, which is incredible.
They do know the
'Cause you're a
Darkwing
good
Duck song.
father.
I don't know that song, so.
That's all right.
It's just an old cartoon. No
We'll
worries.
teach it to you, and you'll sing it on the next Hooters. video.
Darkwing
I'm
Duck.
sure, I'm sure.
So I'm the VP. Nice, cool.
First thing we'd do,
What are we doing?
man, I think I would like to see rent control.
Okay.
I'd like to see the rents come down. So
Yeah,
people
me
who live
too.
by themselves aren't like trying to make 3 times $2,000 for
Yeah.
a 1-bedroom.
I like that.
Yeah.
So rent control.
All right, that's a good answer. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and I accept.
Yeah.
I accept the
That's
ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for that. All right, now you ask Rihanna.
Ooh. Favorite vacation spot?
Did you?
I asked the one you've never
Okay.
been on. So which one?
Oh, is that
Favorite
what you asked?
vacation spot that
I asked which
been
like trip
to?
she's never been on.
Okay. No, yeah, this is one you've been on. Your favorite, like,
Probably when I was little, St. Kitts. I think
what is that?
St. Kitts.
St. Kitts.
Where's that?
I have a Tommy Bahama cologne that's St. Kitts.
Oh,
Where is
really?
it, though?
Yeah. St. Kitts, an
I don't know,
island,
where
right?
is it? Yeah, it's like an
Far away.
island.
Okay.
Far
Yeah.
away.
So, like, you cruise there,
Or
you fly
Curacao.
there?
No, we flew there when I was like little, and there was
Cool.
like baby monkeys on the beach, and they had like diapers on. They were so cute. They were so cute.
So they couldn't sling their shit.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That is
Yeah,
really. I'm
literally.
thinking like it's cute, but in
That's
reality,
why they had
yeah.
diapers
yeah,
on, it
yeah.
makes sense.
They were like little baby diapers.
Oh my god.
I wish I had a picture of them. They were so cute.
Baby monkeys with diapers. Okay. First thing
Yeah.
that's ever been said on my show. I've never had that on the show.
Monkeys and diapers.
All right,
Monkeys and
Rihanna,
diapers.
you're gonna finish off with a question for me.
God, you guys ask good questions.
It's gonna be like, what day is today?
What's your favorite day of the week? No, I'm just kidding. That was.
I'll do that. I don't have an answer for that.
Favorite place to eat?
In the world?
Yeah.
It's a loaded question to ask inside Hooters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're put to the test right now.
I mean, the smoked Daytona wings are incredible here. I self-medicate when my allergies are bothering me. I get those because
Yeah.
And I've never had Daytona wings. So
You gotta
that's
have it.
funny.
So I would say those here, and then if I had to pick, I'll pick a place at Disney that I love. I used to work at Sci-Fi, and we used to have really good food, and they kept changing it. They got a hot dog burger, which was disgusting.
Interesting.
How does the hot dog even fit in the burger bun?
They grill it and they cut it, and it's just for people to die quicker. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just
Have you
try it.
seen the donut burgers?
I
We have them at the
Have
New
you
York
tried
State
those?
Fair.
I haven't tried it, but I've
Oh
seen
my
it.
God.
Two glazed donuts.
Yeah.
Burger, cheese.
Like sweet and salty.
I'm gonna pick a place here. What am I gonna pick on Disney property?
What about those Raptoritas? Those were good.
Yeah. So in 2019, my Toronto Raptors won an NBA championship. The only one they've ever won. 24 years in the making. And when they won during the playoffs, Jason and I met at Disney. We went to T-Rex.
You met at Disney?
Yeah.
Like I drove out here.
Yeah.
I live in Deltona. Like I
okay.
drove out here.
So we went to T-Rex, which is like Rainforest Cafe, same ownership, and we got Raptoritas because I said we have to get it because of the Toronto Raptors.
I love
and
the
you could
Rainforest Cafe.
color them. So we got ours colored red for Toronto. We put strawberry in it. We drank them, took a picture, and to this day, we blame that as part of the reason why they won a championship. And if
Oh
we didn't
my
get
gosh.
those, yeah.
the
That's so
Raptoritas.
Yeah, and we didn't drink
That's
them
so
the last
funny.
couple years, and they didn't win. So we need to get
Could
back
be because
over it.
Kawhi's gone. Could be because
Also.
they don't have Kawhi anymore.
We take some of the credit.
Yeah.
1%.
Yeah.
1%.
So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break here from Hooters Week, live from iDrive, 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. You have, for the first time ever, seen Rihanna. You did a good job.
Thanks.
You figured it out. Was it hard? It wasn't that hard for you.
No,
was it?
just like the questions part.
You were fine.
I'm
You
just
did a
not
good
good
job.
with like the.
A Philadelphia Eagle fan nestled in Orlando. You guys are everywhere. And Farron might fire you after today because of that. So with that being said,
Stay tuned.
we'll take a step aside. Thanks, Rihanna.
Of
Appreciate
course,
it.
of course.
We'll talk with you all soon after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
Thank you. Ooh, forgot.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday Thursday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com.
Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here inside of Hooters iDrive. It is Hooters Week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Always happy to be hanging out here with you live from iDrive as we are here with guests all throughout the week. Very excited for all the people we've had. Odyssey Jones, a.k.a. Amari Palmer, who comes to us, played at Syracuse as an offensive guard and offensive tackle, has moved on to WWE NXT 2.0 as Odyssey Jones. And then we had Aaron Hackett, who is a Syracuse tight end alum, who is from Venice, Florida, went up to Syracuse, has come back down here to the Sarasota area, and is now working for Postgame and helping student athletes do NIL deals the right way, with over 60,000 student athletes subscribed to their app with the opportunity to work. And they place them, and they don't take any commission away from the student athlete, which is a cool thing. Awesome. And then yesterday we did the fantasy football power rankings, and of course today we have Jason Lucas here with us from the professional world inside of front offices of sports organizations like the Florida Tuskers and the Orlando Predators, and of course in the media world. We've talked about a lot of different things. We started with UCF, We were jumping into Realignment with Jason Lucas here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we want to thank you for watching and listening worldwide on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com. Keep it simple, all /WakeUpCallDT. So, Realignment, when I did the map of Realignment, I showed that we had this world of the SEC going from Texas to Florida and up to Kentucky. And then if you looked at the Big Ten outside of what they just did with California, they were touching Kentucky and going up. So there was a cloud in the north, a cloud in the south, and the whole West Coast has been left wide open. One of the things you and I didn't really talk about is my potential plan for the Pac-12 to stay alive.
Right.
And that is to bond with the Mountain West to create geographic rivals in Utah, Utah State, Colorado, and Colorado State, and then have the San Diego States and the Boise States with the Oregons and Washingtons. And I think it would create more for the conference. I actually think the best bet for the Pac-12 is to take those teams that don't make sense in their conference, and for the Mountain West to take those teams that aren't in the Mountain West and to give those rivalries that they wouldn't have. And Utah State's been good, Utah's been good, and Colorado State have sent guys to the NFL. And then I think Oregon, if you have Oregon and Boise State every year, that brings some fun to it. So what are your thoughts about my idea of the Pac-12 bonding with the Mountain West?
Kind of like an arranged marriage. Kind of like what the Americans doing now with the Sun Belt.
Well, and the thing is
Conference
that
USA.
the West Coast is the only part of the country that's outside of UCLA and USC. It's the only part that's wide open. Everybody's going here where the SEC is. Everybody's going a little bit above, and they're taking the Midwest to the East Coast, but they're leaving the West wide open.
Yeah.
And so if the Mountain West was with the Pac-12, then I think immediately you have like 20, 22 teams, and now all of a sudden you're a mega conference.
Yeah.
And you're a regional conference that makes sense and is not traveling over 2,000 miles to go to games.
Well, definitely, degenerate special, right? They play at 7 o'clock their time. It's 10 o'clock here in Orlando.
Yeah.
We're already half asleep, but hey, for the gamblers, man, plenty of time to put some money on the table and see what happens there in those 10 p.m. games. So keeping that alive is Pac-12 after dark, as they like to say.
Yeah.
So keeping those degenerate specials on the books and being able to keep playing ball and have those good rivalries.
And right now, Colorado makes no sense in the Pac-12, and Utah makes sense in the Mountain West. Utah State makes sense in the Mountain West, but having Utah in the Pac, you have those teams that are right there that have those rivalries that would, to me, be a nice bonding and a connection there. But we talk about TV deals and how a lot of these things are being led by TV and money and all that.
Yeah.
If you got a $7 billion deal that the Big Ten has just signed on to have NBC, Fox, and CBS, which are 3 of the 4 main broadcast networks except for ABC, and then you got the SEC with ABC and ESPN under Disney, then where's the room for the ACC, for the Pac-12, for the Big 12? Because I understand there's networks and there's different things, but the ACC already pushes a bunch of games to the ACC network, which I can tell you personally, Syracuse fans loathe, because Syracuse fans never in their life did they think they would not be able to turn on 3, 5, or 9 and watch a game.
Right.
And there's some conferences like the Big Sky and Big West, whatever, that have made deals with ESPN where ESPN carries their games, puts them on ESPN Plus, ESPN 3, but with their deal on ESPN allows the local networks to still carry them.
Right.
So ESPN has the games worldwide for people who want to see them, and then the local stations don't lose them.
Yeah.
Syracuse has lost the rights of most people in central New York getting to see any of their games because a lot of us have gotten rid of cable.
Yep.
So we're not going to bring it back to pay the prices that we got rid of it because of, plus more for the ACC network. And so when I see the plus sign with NFL, plus sign with Disney Plus sign with ESPN, all that means is more money. I want to see somebody with a minus sign. Save me some money. But I really don't like the situation that people are in right now. And with the TV the way it is there room for anybody else besides the Big Ten and the SEC?
When you look at the ACC, it's just really not a football conference. Like Clemson's, it's top heavy. You got Clemson, and you kind of have everybody else trying to.
Wake is
catch
better,
up to
NC
Clemson.
State is better.
But
they're not nationally respected.
They're not.
Miami isn't there yet. Pittsburgh is not nationally respected. The only team that's ever going to get in the college football playoff from the ACC is Clemson. And it was proven, I know Wake Forest lost a couple games down the stretch, but the college football playoff, in my opinion, made it known to Wake Forest, if you win out, we don't care.
Yeah, they really did.
And so, I mean, really, it's not the ACC in the college football playoff, it's Clemson or bust.
Yeah.
Which is not fair.
It's not fair, but, you know, they're the ones that they recruit the best, and they have the best team out there every single year, and they blow out the entire conference almost yearly.
Florida State would maybe have a shot if they were consistently good and not occasionally great, as Dino Babers likes to say. But they have to expand the playoff. And I think the only reason why that halted, because when we were sent the emails in the media, I believe there was a 4-step process, and they got through 3 of the 4 steps. Yeah. When they went through the first 3 steps, they stopped at that last step, and I think that is because, and I tell people all the time, there's no coincidences, especially in this world of collegiate athletics. When it halted and it was silent for like a year or whatever, then Oklahoma and Texas moved.
Yeah.
And then all this other realignment happened, and now people are talking about it again. I believe the college football playoff is waiting to expand until all the chips fall so that the college football playoff can talk to who they want to talk to, how they want to talk to them. And I told you this morning as we were getting ready for the show, I told Jay that I believe there's going to be a college football playoff Tier 1 and Tier 2. I actually think the playoff is going to split into 2 pieces because they're not going to want to give up the money from the ACC and the Big 12 and all that, but I think the actual national championship is going to be Big 10 SEC.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that they do that they just have that marriage and they just play with each other and cut everybody else out of that money.
Yeah, they'll have the 2 tiers.
It's very possible for that to happen. That other thing I was telling you about with like maybe leading off the season with bowl games. Maybe making bowl games matter.
Which the kickoff games feel like that.
Yeah.
If the Chick-fil-A kickoff game and then the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl are the bookends. And so you do see some of that in college football where you have that huge, oh my gosh, you could lose this game. And if you lose this one game, you're going to have to win out.
Yep.
And then we had that Alabama FSU.
Yeah.
And then you have, the bowl games at the end of the
Alabama
season.
killed FSU in that game too.
Yeah, DeAndre Francois got hurt right in front of me in that game.
Whew. Yeah.
Francois was, and he, you know what? He was a 5-star, highly touted, never panned out.
Yeah.
That
happens.
You roll the dice, and see that's the thing with places like FSU is it's like you hit and you hit and you hit and you hit and you hit, and then somebody's okay, like Jaquez Patrick from Timber Creek in Orlando, #1 running back in the country at the time. He never caught on there.
Yeah.
But Delvin Cook did.
Yep.
And then you see like Jameis Winston caught on. But since famous James Blackman didn't catch on, Mackenzie had a year there as a transfer.
Right.
But they haven't had their golden boy at quarterback yet. No. And I like interviewing them. I like talking to them. But they're in a situation right now where Florida State still doesn't have their dominant guy yet.
Right. Like Jordan Travis is.
Yeah.
He's a
talking
guy
to Jordan
that
Travis.
Make some plays, but kind of erratic, throwing it down the field, and can just go through some lulls where their offense can't do a single thing.
Beat Syracuse by a field goal last year, and it was only because Syracuse made mistakes.
Yeah.
Thought they had him out of bounds, and my guy, Marlo Wax, Marlo, I love you. He thought he had gotten him out, and he turned around and he saw he was still in, and that play was with him. And then, of course, people in the media have to ask the unbearable question. I don't want to say unbearable, ridiculous question of do you still think about that? Does that bother you? I'm like, I don't know. Do you still think about bad relationships in your life? Why don't we talk about your ex-wife? You know what I mean? It's it's just a crazy, stupid question. What do you think he thinks about that moment? Yeah. He thinks I should have made sure he was out of bounds. If I can answer the question that I ask somebody, then I'm not asking the question.
Yeah. Exactly.
How do you feel about that literally, to his face, hey, you made a really big mistake that was a big point in one of the 2 mistakes in the game. How do you feel about what happened? And I was like, what do you think he's going to say?
Yeah, I let the team down. Why
don't I just go, jump off this bridge right now? I'm like, you know what I mean? Don't ask those questions that you would not want to be asked yourself, too. Well, Dan, we got to ask the hard questions. Sometimes you know the answer.
Yeah. You know the answer to that one.
You know what I mean? What are you going to ask a kicker that misses a field goal by a hair to win the game? how did you feel? He felt, and there are coaches that'll sit there and they'll be like, you just lost a national championship. How do you feel? And he goes, I feel great. I'm on cloud 9. I mean, they make a joke of it. So, I mean, it's
the best kick I ever made. It just didn't go through.
Yeah. I mean,
and often with kickers, that happens.
Yeah.
It'll be a good quality, good solid contact kick, and it'll miss by that much.
Yeah. Like there's a kicker that'll tell you it had everything it was supposed to have. I was worried it wasn't going to have the length it needed, but it was a little bit too far to the left. I mean, does anybody remember anything else Scott Norwood ever did with his life besides the kick that he missed in Buffalo? You know what I mean?
That's all I remember. I was 6 years old when it happened. But
and the thing is, and Norwood will probably tell you, the 9,000 kicks that he made, everybody was getting a beer or in the bathroom at the stadium, but the one that he missed is the only one they remember.
Very true.
It's crazy. Okay? It's a lot harder than you think it is, folks. And we are friends with a lot of these student athletes, professional athletes, and coaches. And I can tell you that my armchair quarterbacks, listen, you always have the opportunity to speak your mind on my show. I always ask you to do two things: justify your opinion and be respectful. These are human beings, and as one coach said to me, he said, my mother reads every article.
Yeah.
He just stood there and said that in silence, and the media just stood there with him like, yeah, okay, next question. And it's like, did you guys not hear what he just said?
Yeah. Oh, man, that's heavy.
Like my mom reads everything you write about me. And there's a way to write about somebody, there's a way to critique a team where, and I feel this way, like Frank Howard on Syracuse basketball, they weren't playing that great, he had made mistakes, turnovers, whatever. And I said, I write my articles, I do my show, and Frank hugs me after the game. So that's the balance of I'm constructively criticizing with a positive spin, attacking him personally, because I'm not lying, they weren't playing great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Frank's not hugging you after the game if you said he was trash. So
Exactly. And you just have a better relationship than that.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, a player or a coach typically turns the corner, and everybody wants to be their friend when they turn the corner. And I will promise you, those players and coaches never forget the people that were not their friend.
Right.
They never forget those people.
They don't forget that shit.
When there's 45 people at the press conference, they remember the 2 people, and they will talk to those 2 people, and they will probably sarcastically come back at the other 43 people.
True story.
So,
Seen it happen.
Do you have a favorite coach or player moment at a press conference?
Oh my gosh. Man, I mean, you used to send me to cover the Jaguars, and I can't even remember what their coach's name was back then.
Gus Bradley.
Was it Gus Bradley?
Fantastic, personality. He just didn't win, unfortunately. Good coordinator.
Pretty much every post game, he was so truculent with the media because you had is it David Lamb was like the craziest guy up there in Jacksonville. Covered the Jags for years and years.
Maybe.
I mean,
is that the guy with the cigar?
Yes. Yeah, so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. The guy who Maurice Jones-Drew looked right at him in the middle of a thing, and he goes, I know what you said about me. And he said, what you said about me is not what I said, so just say that it wasn't what I said.
Yeah.
And the guy just stood there and looked at him, and he's like, I was in the room when Maurice talked, and I know exactly what Maurice said, and I'm sitting here going like, I know what you said.
Yeah.
I was here, so...
So yeah, back then the questions were always about team effort and guys kind of like quitting on the team. I mean, the specific game I remember, I think they lost 41-3 to the Chicago Bears, who weren't even that good.
Oh, I forgot that one.
And well, yeah, you weren't there. I was.
Doesn't mean I don't.
And
I put all those out of my head. The last one I remember is 4 points from going to the Super Bowl.
That's back when we used to do the on the prowls and try to say anything positive.
Still have them. Still have our on the prowls.
We used to do.
There's more positives now.
We used to try to say positive things, and it was just difficult, man. You had Chad Henne playing quarterback, I think. And that was about the only bright spot is when they brought him in
really
to
nice
replace
guy.
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Blaine Gabbert's still on the Bucs these days.
Yeah, has a Super Bowl ring.
It's insane.
3 Jaguars that I've talked to have Super Bowl rings. Blaine Gabbert, Jadon Mickens, and Leonard Fournette.
Right. Yeah, Campbell still doesn't have one, does he?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
So, and no, Calais didn't have one, and A.J. Boye didn't get one. 2, okay, so everybody focused on Jalen Ramsey, Yannick Ngakoue, Telvin Smith, those guys. the guys on the defense that were just as good, that literally you never even knew they were at their locker because they were never a problem, and they never needed to be that third grader in class that was doing something stupid so everybody would look at them. A.J. Boye and Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
Two of the nicest guys that you would never know are all pros because they never told you they were.
I'll throw Rasheed Mathis in there too. He was the team leader guy that, he'd own up to whatever, and he would tell you what he thought was wrong.
Chris Conley Jr., they had him for a season at wide receiver. He should have been a leader on the team.
Yeah.
Like, when I heard that guy speak, I just remember standing there for like 4 or 5 minutes, holding on to my recorder, going, why is this not the face? Like, he was coming from Kansas City, and he goes, being in that locker room and in that culture and being here, like, he said we had a winning culture, and like, this is not, like, he saw the difference.
Yeah, oh.
Night
and day.
And, I mean, there's been some really great guys in Jacksonville. And there's been some really great guys that didn't get respect, like James O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
There's guys that Greg Jones was there.
Yeah, Justin Blackman was there. That was a guy that they had really high hopes for.
Yeah.
Had some off
DJ
the field
Shark,
issues.
who's now with Detroit.
Yeah. Almost drafted him last night. Almost.
Yeah, I did like I did like him. Trying to think of all my guys that have been there. Bunch of offensive linemen that I love talking to. Talked to almost all of them.
You had one of your boys was the one that caught the Hail Mary that one time.
Oh yeah, my guy, my dude.
Yeah.
The guy that like for 2 weeks everybody wanted to talk to, and when they left, I went over to his locker and I shook his hand. He pulled me in, he gave me a hug, and I said, and I was like, I've been here from day zero. Mike Thomas.
Yep.
Love Mike Thomas.
Yeah.
Mike Thomas, that's my guy, number 80.
Yep.
That's when the Hail Mary. It was crazy. The Houston Texans were in the left end zone. And they jumped up, and instead of catching the ball, which he couldn't do, he batted it, and Mike Thomas caught it right in front of the goal line, and he looked down, and he just brought his feet forward quick, and I was like, I think he was like, is this a touchdown? And I'm like, is this a touchdown?
Not yet. Move forward.
And Mike was also my dude who did the fake wave off. He caught the punt, and he went like that, so people saw his hand move, but he never went above his head. And he went like this, and then he ran it back.
Awesome.
So, yeah, Mike was good. Jadon Mickens, one of my favorite people in the world, also wore the same number.
Yeah.
And Jadon was sleeping in his car on the practice squad at Jacksonville because he didn't know if he was going to be living there, because he didn't know if he was going to make the team.
It's that sacrifice, bro.
So, love Jadon. Maurice was fun. There's a lot of good guys.
Maurice was always fun, and it was
Denard
weird to
Robinson was
have
there, too.
somebody on the team that I was like almost a foot taller than, too. Like,
Well-
oh, Maurice, hey, what's up, little guy?
And for the people that tell me that I'm not 5'8" in your dreams, Dan, well, Maurice is 5'8", and I'm a hair taller than Maurice when we look straight on because I stood in the locker room and looked at his face.
Yeah.
And I looked at what I would be if I played football because they told me to gain 100 pounds, and I go, I would have looked like a tombstone because he was like this.
You just hide behind everybody and run.
But he was light as a fat man. He could dance.
Oh, yeah.
You
His
know?
legs were strong as hell.
Yeah.
So number one thing I remember about him is his legs were built like.
The year he led the NFL with over 1,600 rushing yards, I think the offense in Jacksonville was the 31st out of 32. So he did it without a line.
Yeah.
Like Barry Sanders did it without a line. Like,
Yep.
There was so many good moments. Mercedes Lewis, one of my favorite Jaguars of all
Yeah.
time. The only guy that was bookend of the decade of making the playoffs and then making it again. Mm-hmm. So, and I told Mercedes, I was like, I got you on my fantasy team. I said, what do you want to say to people about drafting you? And I'll never forget, because I had done an interview with him, and I was like, I'll just throw this as the last question. So I was having some fun. And he said, to everybody that's not like drafting me, like, I look forward to proving you wrong. So I really liked Mercedes, and Ben Koyak at tight end too, never got the love. Mm-hmm. Crazy though to be around the team now when Fred Taylor's up on the board, Tony Baselli's walking by you, Mark Brunell's sitting one seat over from you, Tom Coughlin was over. I interviewed Tom Coughlin.
Have you gone up there already? This like training camp?
I will be going up.
My boy PJ Jack is up there.
Okay.
He's in their coaching program.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
And I actually had Marcus Tatum from UCF.
Yep.
He had been brought in as an undrafted rookie on the O-line, so I interviewed him going in. And then my DB, my dude, is actually still there on the roster right now. So I got some guys in Jacksonville that were fighting to get in, and I love telling those stories as well.
You might remember PJ's wife, Diane. She used to hit the horn at the Tuskers practices.
Maybe then. Because that was back 2009, 10.
Yeah. Remember our special teams coach used to be like, Diane, hit that horn. That's PJ's wife.
Okay, all
so
right.
I ran into them at Seminole last season.
And
he was
PJ's
coaching the quarterbacks
PJ's
over
up there now, so yeah.
So PJ's up there, learning some stuff.
Yeah, and I'm
together.
excited. I feel like Doug Peterson seems like a calm energy, the type of guy that
they'll be better.
I mean, his record with the Eagles is 37-41, but he has won a Super Bowl. So.
They have that division too. That division's not tough. So you feel like 8 of their games are in that division. They should win at least 5 of those.
I said the Houston Texans for years won the AFC South not because they were good.
Default.
It's because they were better than the bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, I said this year if Jacksonville goes 7-10, I mean that to me would be
that'd be a good year for them.
Yeah, so
kind of in the middle.
I'm not crazy about it, I want to see him do better. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be fine.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think Etienne and Robinson are going to be one of the best backfields in the country if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
And people can fight me on that, but for real though,
you got to block for them.
Yeah. And I said last year, you got one more year to fix this offensive line or it's breaking up.
Yep. And
that offensive line didn't stay healthy, and as I predicted, it broke up. So we're now where we are right now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to talk about Tua. We're going to stay in Florida, and we're going to go south. So we will head down to Miami to talk about Tua and the Dolphins right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are here for Hooters Week inside of Hooters on iDrive 8801 International Drive, as we are here every single year for the College and Pro Football Preview Week, and we will be back for March Madness for the first time ever this year. It is Tim Baum's birthday, Thursday, August 25th, so big shout out to Tim Baum and a very happy birthday to one of the leaders of the Hooters brand. So we'll take a step aside here for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, and we'll be back live from iDrive with plenty more with Jason Lucas and myself, Dan Tortora, right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in Hooters Week, live from iDrive, as we are here on 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida, right by SeaWorld, as well as Universal Studios and Walt Disney World. Happy to be here with you, with my Floridian here, Mr. Jason Lucas, and Jason coming to us from many walks of life in the sports world. And you're also working on something new now, so I'd love for you to let everybody know, because I know it connects you back to the sports world too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to take a second, tell everybody about Clarigen Z. It's this way I gotta go?
Yeah.
Still this way?
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
Yep, there's the box there. Clarigen Z. Anybody who needs focus, energy, you think of, people that take a prescription of Adderall. This is just another way of getting you the focus and energy you need to get done with your day, whether you're an athlete or not, whether you're a mom, a dad, you're trying to keep up with the kids, you're trying to get your work done at the end of the day. For me, I'll take one about noon every day, and it just gets me through my afternoon. Sometimes I'm way more productive in the afternoon than I ever am in the morning, and that's just taking one. Some people actually take two, and really it gets you going and keeps you in a flow state for up to 6 hours. So ClarigenZ.com, just spelled just like.
And it has natural. Speak to that side of it too, like what's in it, the natural. And,
so it's biocitruroid, of course, is the main ingredient of it. It's actually from rare orange peels, and that's really the number one thing that's in it. All natural. If you're an athlete looking to take something like this, you'll never fail a drug test because there's nothing in it that's illegal. So all the best things are what's in this, and honestly, even when you're not on it, you can still feel some residual effects of, man, I'm not as sore today as I usually am. I don't get those old man pains anymore.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing, and day to day working for them, I'm loving it right now.
So thank you for sharing that and having some fun with that. Do you want to shout out somebody that you signed that we know is maybe watching or listening today?
Yeah, absolutely. Jess Lee. How you doing, honey?
And happy to. Country singer.
Yeah.
Down here in
she
Florida.
Sings some punk tree, she likes to say.
Punk tree.
She doesn't want to be labeled anymore.
Punk tree.
But yes, shout out to
So a little
Jess
bond.
Lee.
I think that's where you find the best, is where you can live in a couple different worlds. Yeah. Because, I tell people, I've been singing all my life since I was 3. And they're like, well, what are you? I was like, well, I like country, I like R&B, I like rap. So there's like a weight in classic rock. So you can kind of mix and mold, speed it up, slow it down. What you see a lot with that now is like classic rock hitting with some rap, country hitting with some R&B, and people like that.
Yeah.
And you see some of these collaborations that make a lot of sense in that world, where like Kane Brown's working with John Legend, and during the pandemic putting some songs together. So, I can appreciate a mixture. I like Punk Tree. I definitely like that. That's a cool name.
Follow her on Instagram at Jess Lee Music. So she's on there. Brand new song, Chillbilly, coming out tomorrow.
So you and I have to talk about Tua.
Oh boy.
And how people can't always say his name. So I was told it was
some people say Tagovailoa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but it's spelled Tagovailoa. So, a nice Irish name. So yeah, Tua Tagovailoa, the Hawaiian. So, Tua, your thoughts on Tua, and then second part, your assessment of why people love to hate him so much.
So, last season, Tua was injured in the second game of the year. Everybody loves to forget that now. Now, he messed up his ribs pretty freaking bad.
Yeah.
Second game of the year, takes a shot from one of the Buffalo Bills in the back, messes his ribs up. He's out. Jacoby Brissett has to come in. We don't win a single thing with Jacoby Brissett until we play the Houston Texans about halfway through the season. And then Tua comes in and takes over. I think it was a Thursday night game against the Ravens. Tua came back in and did not relinquish the reins the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Only had Jalen Waddle as a notable receiver on that team. Not much of a running game to speak of until late in the season they brought in Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
So Tua kind of, carried it with a bunch of tight ends.
Yeah.
And a bunch of, guys that you haven't heard of, like a Lynn Bowden.
Yeah.
Guys like that just came in and were able to make some plays.
Gesicki stepped it up, and then
Gesicki stepped it up for sure.
You had what? Smythe.
Yeah, Smythe. I mean, just a bunch of no-name receivers that he was throwing to, and they run off 7-8 games in a row there and end up nearly making the playoffs, if not for bad planning in Tennessee.
Different running back every week. Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, there's a bunch of different guys.
And then they brought in Duke Johnson, and that's when they got moving a little better once they brought Duke in.
Which made sense.
Yeah.
Because he also played at Miami.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's when I first met him.
Yeah.
Put up the U.
Yep.
So,
but as for why people bash him.
Yeah, why bash him?
Why are you going to stake your whole reputation on bashing a guy who hasn't even had a fair shake yet? Now, you got to remember that some of the best quarterbacks in the league, the consistency of who's calling the plays is the biggest thing. Knowing your verbiage, being in the playbook, the same playbook for 2, 3, 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Tua hasn't had that yet. He's again in his third season and now learning a new playbook, new verbiage. They had him on the broadcast the other night, showed him at 2:30 before the game with his playbook, with his call sheet out on the field, going, okay, so on this one I take a 3-step drop, and you see him, drops 1, 2, 3. On this one I'm handing off to the right, takes it off, 1, 2, 3, hands off. Those are brand new things that he's just trying to learn. And I said it on Twitter the other day, I'll say it here. The number one thing is what people don't see.
Yeah.
So, nobody was supposed to see that workout, but it's what you do when people aren't watching is how you learn an offense like that, how you learn anything in life.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching when you go on YouTube and learn how to fix the toilet.
Yeah.
So basically it's what you do when people aren't watching, and Tua's doing those little things right now that I don't think I would stake my football reputation on. Oh, he's freaking terrible. Oh, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't get the ball to Tyreek Hill in the open field. Oh, yes, hell he can, and yes, hell he will. And you better watch out for the Dolphins this year. That's all I'm really going to say.
Well, and, taking a look at Tua statistically, last season, his completion percentage, for those of you that want to hate on him, he was just shy of 68%. The best completion percentage was around 70%. So he was at 67.8%. And like I said, the best one was Joe Burrow at 70.4.
Yep.
Tom Brady was 67.5. So he was above Tom Brady in his completion percentage. Derek Carr was up there too. Matt Stafford was up there. So Tua 67.8, Tom Brady 67.5. Tua had 2,653 yards in 13 of the 17 games that were played, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a bunch of guys had multiple interceptions last season. I mean, we have Lamar Jackson here on this as well, and we have a few other guys to mention here.
Humbled Lamar Jackson last
Dak
season.
Prescott had double-digit interceptions. Joe Burrow had double-digit interceptions. Derek Carr, Pat Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady. So I'm not trying to say they are. I'm trying to that they're the same.
Yeah.
But when you're completing almost 68% of your passes, almost 3,000 yards in 13 of the 17 games, and more touchdowns than interceptions, I think Tua needs a little break from the abuse.
Absolutely, and thankfully he doesn't really pay attention to Twitter, so he doesn't even see the half of it.
No, he seems to be a pretty humble kid.
Yeah.
And I like his story about his family. I like the story about his faith. I'll never forget when he was drafted that he was in the house with his parents, and he was talking about God, and he had the lay around him and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just remember going, I like this guy,
Yep.
but I like him for more than football.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I mean, I guess my issue with it all is, well, he can't throw this, he can't do this, he can't do that. But the best thing to speak for you is to just live your dreams and live your life. Because as I tell people, outside noise, by definition, belongs outside.
Yep.
It's called outside noise for a reason. You don't let it in.
Yep.
You don't let it in, you don't drink it in, you don't swallow it, you don't digest it. You leave it outside, because one of my favorite quotes of all time is when Lamar Jackson had 5 touchdowns at the beginning of his career in the NFL, and they said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Pretty good for a running back."
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
So, and there are many people in the NFL that could never say that they were anywhere near 60%, let alone 67.8% completion percentage. I mean,
with no offensive line.
I mean,
mind you.
Jameis Winston's almost 100% completion percentage because he throws to both teams.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Jamarcus Russell, former #1 pick, there's a lot of guys that Tua statistically is better than. And again, he's young in his career. He split time with Ryan Fitzpatrick. So you look at, in the short time he's been in the NFL, he wasn't the dominant starter. And then last year, he was out for 4 games.
Yep.
So, and if he was in for those 4 games, are we talking about 3,500 yards? And
I'm
that's
probably talking about making the playoffs too.
So
honestly, you lose that game in Las Vegas with Brissett. You lose a game pretty handily to the Bucks with Brissett. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that was the difference in them making the playoffs or not, was just too much Brissett having to be in, and but then Tua comes back with those damaged ribs and finds a way.
And Tyreek Hill did say something that was kind of interesting here. He said that he said Tua throws a better ball than Pat Mahomes. And I don't know if he's saying that because he wants the ball, and he's saying that because he's taking a shot if he wants to hype it up. But he did say, Tua throws a better ball to me. And I told people jokingly but seriously, I said all Tua has to do is throw a 2 to 3 yard pass, pitch it, dump it off. All he needs to do is get the ball to Tyreek and let him go. But when you have speed with Jalen Waddle and speed with Tyreek Hill, like I said to you and Rick last night, the Miami Dolphin fans in our Fantasy Football League, Wake Up Call Orlando, that drafts exclusively at Hooters iDrive here on 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida, in our 12th year, I said to you and Rick, when you got Waddle and Tyreek, I'm going to be hard-pressed to find any team that's going to be able to guard them both an entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the deepest rooms in the league right now. So you're going to definitely have to watch out for these guys. I mean, they got the Buffalo Bills they're going to be competing with for that division, I think, more so than the Patriots and Jets. That'll be the team they're competing with to win the division. And
Jets dealing with injury, that's an issue.
Yeah,
there too.
Jets dealing with injury, of course, too. Patriots dealing with having Mac Jones, who's overhyped as ever I've seen any quarterback overhyped. So,
I think I like him more than other people do, but I still don't. I'm not sitting here saying that. I mean, I'm more excited. Okay, if Mac Jones wasn't with Bill Belichick, then we would be having a different conversation.
Sure.
Because Bill finds his guys. I thought Mac was going to fit there. I said if he goes 15, they're going to draft him, and they did. And so I think he'll be okay there. But who has more weapons? I mean, it's clearly Miami.
Miami's got a ton of weapons this year, and they've even got a running back now in Edmonds. So should be a good year in Miami. I mean, it's season tickets are sold out. You can't get it. You can get on the waiting list just like you can in Tampa. So Jacksonville's the only ones that didn't sell their season tickets in the state this year. So it's going to be a crazy year. I mean, the hype couldn't be any higher than it is, and I think the ceiling for them is a magical run all the way to the Super Bowl, with the floor being just making the playoffs. This is the year they get in.
So, I mean, and looking at the Miami Dolphins statistically last year, I just want to take a look at some of their numbers here that they had in their receiving core with Tua not being in for the full season. And the way it all shook out at the end of it is we saw Jalen Waddle was a 1,000-yard receiver last year.
As I told you he would be.
With 1,015. Yeah, you said I saw him catch the ball and shake somebody off. You said, dude, from what I saw in this film, he's going to be really good. And you drafted him off of it.
Yep.
And Jason was 1,000% right. by all stretches of the imagination. 6 touchdowns, 140 targets, caught over 104 balls last year as a rookie. Had over 1,000 yards. And then we have Mike Gesicki, the tight end, who had 780 yards as tight end, 2 touchdowns there. And then Durham Smythe, over 300 yards on the season. And so, now you got Tyreek Hill. So, and Devontae Parker, who I never thought was the number one guy, and he never proved to be the number one guy, is not there anymore. He's
Always
actually
hurt.
a
He's
Patriot
in New England.
now. Yeah.
He's in New England,
Patriot
and they're talking him up, and we tell them wait till week 2 when he's on the IR. Unfortunately, it sucks because we had such expectations for him too.
Yeah.
That he just couldn't live up to with injury issues, and unfortunately, there's guys in the NFL that struggle with that through their careers, and that's just their bugaboo, man. They just can't get over it.
And we look at the fact that right now, Mohamed Sanu, who is at Rutgers, he's there now. And you also don't have Will Fuller V anymore, which is another guy who doesn't stay healthy.
Yep.
So it was
Cedric
like
Wilson.
it was a test. It was a test, and unfortunately he doesn't stay out there. So it'll be really cool to see Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill together. Chase Evans, Raheem Mostert trying to resurrect their career. Sonny Michel trying to resurrect his career. So you got 3 guys from other places. Kind of reminds me of the Houston Texans of taking a bunch of running backs that are trying to get back into the starting role.
Yeah, that's a lot of speed there between Edmonds and Mostert. I mean, those are 2 real fast speed guys.
And when in doubt, with all due respect, you have Teddy Bridgewater, who has found a way to resurrect himself. So.
Yep, and Skylar Thompson too he's going to be the 3rd string, they say, right off, but he's had a hell of a preseason, did a good job over in Tampa, and should be somebody they're going to hang on to and make sure nobody else can get their hands on him.
Yeah, and you put together a defense by making some moves over time. Xavier Howard there in your secondary, Melvin Ingram III at linebacker, Christian Wilkins, who I covered in college as a defensive end. So there's some things here, Emmanuel Agba. There's some defensive pieces here that I think Miami should be excited about, because Miami's defense really has not had life since Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor hung it up. So.
Right. I mean, it's an aggressive attacking defense. They like to blitz you. They like to come after you. Even Javon Holland, the safety, comes on blitzes a lot. So they're a lot of pressure on you. And I mean, Xavier Howard on the back end of that defense, he's just a ball hawk. He'll take the ball from you in a heartbeat, especially if your name's Mac Jones. You can throw me a pick 6 in week 1. I'll be happy.
So some good stuff coming up here for the Miami Dolphins. We're going to take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports meets that thing called life. We talked about a lot of things, Tua and the Dolphins, the NFL. We're going to discuss Florida driving, and then we're going to jump right into rapid fire as Jay and I will finish off the show with some rapid fire fun between 2 very good friends over a very long period of time. So we'll take a step aside here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of Hooters. It is Hooters Week, live from iDrive, exclusively at your Hooters home spot, your home base, my home base when I come down here. That's 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. We'll take our final step aside. We'll be back right after this to talk about Floridian driving, as well as get into our rapid fire right after this fast break.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call's signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
Welcome back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of Hooters on iDrive here in Orlando, Florida. It is Hooters Week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, live from iDrive for the college and pro football preview week, and we are taking you literally right into college football season. Our final show of the week is tomorrow, August 26th. The first day of games for college football, believe it or not, is Saturday, August 27th. So college football is back, and we're bringing you to the doorstep of it. And tonight, as well as tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, are the final preseason games for the NFL to get you set for the season. And I will be back down here for year number 12, covering my Jacksonville Jaguars. So On the Prowl is back, and we are going to have some fun with it this year like we've never done before. So with that being said, Jay Bird's here with me, Jason Lucas, myself, Dan Tortora. And before we get into rapid fire, I would love to talk with you, and I'm just going to open it up in a broad scope. Florida driving is blank.
Atrocious. I think on the way here, I was following you, and I saw a car come from the right lane, and it cut you off, and then I saw another car come from the right lane that cut that car off too.
They cut me off, and then the guy in front of me cut the guy off that had just cut me off and cut him off in the next lane because they went over two lanes. And my thing is, how do you not, if you're all the way, and this is the thing I don't understand. I understand being like, oh, am I supposed to turn here? And so you're in that middle lane and then you get in the left. I don't understand. I'm all the way to the right. I have to go all the way to the left. Like, how do you not know that you're there? You're not looking at your GPS. You're not paying attention. But to go from the right lane to the middle lane to the left lane at the light when everybody stopped to make it extremely difficult to thread the needle. And then the guy's got his hand outside like, oh, sorry, like, I just saw you cut him off, so let me cut you off. And it's like, you know, the cutter of the cutter is my friend. I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, you wonder why locals don't come down here.
It's crazy, though. It's crazy. And I-4, how many times I've been on I-4, no accident, no construction, just people. I remember one time there was a building on the way into Disney toward Lake Buena Vista. There was a building on the left-hand side of I-4 that was on fire. When I say on fire, it was on a blaze. It was a blaze. It was big old fire. And I'm driving. I'm like, why is everybody stopped? Is there an accident? I keep moving forward, inching, couple inches, inching again. And I finally get up to it. Everybody had stopped on I-4 to watch the fire. So I tell people all the time, this is the amusement capital of the world. And as much as it's the amusement capital of the world, or at least of this country, it doesn't mean you stop and watch a fire. And the craziness of people stopping on the highway to look at an accident or look at a fire to put themselves in a situation where they're going to be the thing that people stop and look at is kind of ironic. And my dad and I, it was raining in Florida, we were driving, and this guy literally dead stopped in front of us on I-4 to look at a car that was off the road.
Yeah, that sounds like I-4
So you could be the next car that's off the road.
Have you gone through the express lanes yet on I-4, the brand new ones?
I've seen them. I have not gone.
Okay, so yesterday.
Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I went on them last time.
So like yesterday when I was coming over for the draft, I was like, all right, so I'm on my way. I haven't hit any traffic yet, and I got about to like Altamont.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm gonna go to Maitland, as far as Maitland, but I know I better jump in that express lane.
Yeah.
I jump in the express lane, and no sooner do I do that, the right side is all stopped, and I'm in the express lane passing. Like I literally almost did an Instagram reel because I was like, bye. And yeah, it actually pays that $1.50 that you have to pay right now for that.
Yeah.
It gets you past downtown in no time. Even if you're only allowed to do 60, you still get through faster.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy to see the Florida, and also the fact that there's a ton of people down here that are tourists and they don't know where they're going.
Right.
And so
you have to understand that.
You're dealing with that as well. And I tell people all the time, there was one time my old roommate came up to Syracuse, and he's sitting in the back with his girlfriend at the time, and he's like, and then like at the end they're like, they get out of the car and she looks at him and it's like, we're never driving with him again. And I went, are y'all misconfusing something? Because I'm the reason why we're alive right now. I said, they went through a red light, they went through a stop sign, they went through a stop sign. Like, I call Syracuse manageable crazy. But it's funny how I would rather drive in Orlando, I'd rather drive down in Florida than New York City.
Yeah, or Vegas. Vegas was, that actually shocked me when I moved there, how bad the driving was.
Oh, and I hear people talk about LA, and I'm like, I don't like LA enough from a distance to ever even sit in traffic. Because I'd sit in traffic once, and I'd be like, I'm not coming back here for the rest of my life. Just leave my car there.
If you think about it, LA traffic and the traffic that LA is the reason that Kobe had a helicopter in the first place.
It's crazy.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Love Kobe, man. That was, but to hear that was the reason he had a helicopter, I was like, you're right. Damn.
Yeah, and the smog and just everything there.
Yeah.
I will go to San Diego maybe at some point in my life, and I might go to Anaheim, but I will not go to Los Angeles. No, you would have to pick me up in a private plane and bring me where I need to go. In that, like, I would have to be in a place where, like, you're going to have to wine and dine and treat me all types of dainty to bring me out there, because there's nothing that's going to catch me out.
At least let me drive the emergency lane or something.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to catch me out there. I need to be in, like, a private limo and all that stuff.
Even like in 2.5 Men, the show with Charlie Sheen, they always had things like, well, yeah, I got to work at 7 a.m. What time do you leave? Oh, 4:30.
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, it's 2 blocks down.
It's 10 miles away. Yeah.
I did that in Florida. I was 20, what was it? I was 9 miles away from the airport, and I left with almost 3 hours, and I missed the flight.
Wow. Yeah, that can happen.
So
all it takes is one fatal accident.
It's craziness. So people, please be safe out there and understand you might not care about other people, but you need to, because if they don't care, put it to you like this, if you don't care about other people, what would you think about somebody driving recklessly not caring about you or your kids? So start to care about other people, because if you did just one tiny thing for a total stranger every single day, this world would change more rapidly than you could ever think in a positive way. And with that being said, rapid fire. So we're going to have 3 apiece to round out the show.
All right.
You go first.
All right. What's your favorite part of this trip so far?
Favorite part of this trip so far? I would say hanging out with you.
Oh,
the fact
thanks,
that we
buddy.
actually got to spend some expanded time this time. So
Absolutely.
I would say that, and just having a good friend at a time where it's a good reminder.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you are. So I would say that. My first one for you, favorite thing to do with Carly and Gracie?
Oh, man, I love taking them to the park and just letting them run around and kind of do their thing and watching them play together.
Yeah.
Carly, of course, has autism, for those who don't know. So watching them interact with each other, because they're almost forced to when they're at the park. Like, they're the only ones there sometimes, so they interact with each other.
Yeah.
Watching them, they act out movies. They'll actually act out in Kanto from beginning to end now.
Oh, that's cool.
So I love that. And our thing is always, we go to somewhere with a drive-through, and the girls want to sit in a parking spot and eat the food. It's like their favorite thing to do with Dad now. That we do that, and then we do go for Jeremiah's ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah, take them for ice cream.
Never been to Jeremiah's.
They love it. They love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll never forget the way when my mom would bring me to get food, the way the Sprite tasted different. And I still remember, like, the last time I sat in this one place and the play place that was there. There's like, it's just like I can pull up a memory like nothing for all the stuff my mom used to do with me. And because my mom still every week goes to dinner, goes to lunch with me at some point during the week. So even at 36 years old, she still makes it a point to be a part of my life as much as she possibly, as much as I'll let her, basically, is what she would say.
Right.
So,
as much as you let her.
She'd be there every day. So.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
I know she's watching, right?
She is. She is. And, and there's like the mama's boy thing, and that's a no. And there's the, like they're overbearing, and that's a no. Sometimes you just have a mom that's a really cool person that knows how to.
Watching too.
Yeah, what'd you say? Yeah.
I'm sure my mom's watching too.
They know my mom knows how to be a leader. My mom knows how to be fearless. My mom is extremely stronger than she thinks, and she is not overbearing in her son's life, and she's not controlling of my life. She's just there because she wants to make memories with her son and not just think about the good old days. She wants to have days now. So I tell people all the time, I'm like, there is such thing as just wanting to be around your parents because they're cool people.
Yeah.
So I love you, Mom. Very much.
Absolutely. Love my mom and dad too.
Shout out mom and dad, and Lily. Shout out my little girl. So what's your second one?
What are you most looking forward to this football season?
Going back to Jacksonville. Having a season pass because COVID was, they had to do individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time ever in 12 years of covering Jacksonville for the most part on site in some way, shape, or form. It's the first time I ever got a credential that's a lanyard with my face on it for the whole year.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, mine was always individual games.
Yeah, and that's how it's been, even with the season. So, I'm looking forward to being in Jacksonville. I'm looking forward to being around Doug Peterson. I'm looking forward to seeing Trevor back me up because I covered him in college too.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to seeing Papa Joe and Mary and Joey. I love being with my family. I love having another set of parents.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you. I love my excuses to come down to Disney.
Of course.
And finding myself the Southern girl at some point in my life.
Yeah, there you go.
But if I never do, all of those other things way more important.
Right.
My second question for you: what has been your favorite thing about our friendship for over a decade?
Jeez, man. I mean, just being able to talk about whatever. I mean, that's just how we've always been and how we've always rolled. And I've told you before that, like, I'm a better friend to other people even and you because of you. Like, you taught me how to be a better friend to people. And, how you call and check and all that good stuff. Like, you've made me better in that way. So that's definitely a notable thing to say. I think is that we've had a lot of fun, of course, and all the different things we've covered together. And, back in the day, laying on the field at the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, we literally laid on the field and saw the smoke come off the field and saw like the pieces of the turf.
So hot.
It's crazy. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know if I deserve all that. Thank you for that. It's somebody saying you make me a better friend. I don't know if there's a better compliment I've heard. So thank you for that. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, man.
What's your last one?
All right. You got to tell everybody what you've been doing at Disney.
Okay.
Tell them about your favorite ride at Disney.
My favorite ride is typically Expedition Everest. For many years, I watched it getting built. It looked like a giant anthill. It's crazy because they had to build it from the inside out.
Right.
I would say my favorite now is Guardians. I rode it already when I got here. I'm riding it today, and my plan is to, God willing, ride it the next 2 days. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I hope I get to hear every song. What I've done at Disney, and this is the crazy thing about how God works. Anybody could buy the Groot that sits on your shoulder.
Right.
Anybody. I was the only person at Epcot the whole day that I saw had it on.
Wow.
I can't tell you how many people stopped me, and God's always done that. I'm like, I'll buy these sneakers. I've never seen anybody wear them. I got these other ones that people stop me, and like I'd be like, and I would date people, and they're like, everywhere we go, someone stops and goes, I like your chain, I like your shirt. They're like, why doesn't anybody like my shirt? And I'm like, but I've always just had my style. I don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing. I don't care. And I put Groot on my shoulder as a grown man, and it's like, oh, well, aren't you like? I'm like, no, I'm totally fine with it. Put him on my shoulder, shot videos with him, did pictures with him, and I had so many great conversations with total strangers that reminded me how good the world is.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah.
Like literally within a 6-hour period, I was reminded how good the world is.
Say, I am Groot.
Oh yeah, I do. I do it all the time. I'll have them on my thing, and I'll be talking about something, and I was like, oh, what's that? And I'll just do, I am Groot. I am Groot. And I actually had a conversation back. I put them on one of the bikes at Epcot in France. And if y'all want to follow my Disney show, it's at Do Diz with Dan. It's D-I-Z, at Do Diz with Dan.
Oh, you changed it, huh?
I did change it just to take the Disney name out, because as the show gets bigger, I don't want Disney getting weird.
Right.
So I have a picture of Groot on the bike. And I put up a conversation that I imagine we would have had. So I put, me, Groot, this bike is too big for you right now. Groot, I am Groot.
I'm Groot.
I put, okay, I understand you can reach the handles if you grow out your arms, but have you ever ridden a bike before? His response, I am Groot. I said, at the arcade doesn't count. I am Groot. No, I haven't ridden one of those before either. And then he says, I am Groot. Translation, not even at an arcade. And then there's a face palm of me. So we have some really good conversations that I've created.
Absolutely. That's good.
I like the food. I'm the type of person where I will go to a park just to like get the food I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have my favorite stores. I get the pizza in Hollywood. There's some really good stuff at different places, but and I got at City Works, that's by where Disney Quest used to be. Their duck nachos are insane.
I miss Disney Quest.
So good. I got them my first day here. I do too.
Yeah.
And
used to go there as a kid.
And I also went to Cirque du Soleil, the old one, La Nuba, and I was like, oh, so this is why people do drugs. Like, I mean, you can't understand it as a sober person, which I've always been, and I will never do the drugs. But I will tell you, I don't understand La Nuba at all because it doesn't make any sense. But it was a great show. People are very acrobatic.
Yeah.
Somebody told me they're like,
buddy.
there's a theme, there's a story. I was like, no, there's not. If you're on LSD, there's a theme in the story. But please don't do drugs because it's not good, and not even for La Nuba. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. I love my food. I love walking around. I love getting my steps in. I love taking care of my body.
Yep.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
Yes, sir.
Love hanging out with Groot. He's ready to go today.
I'm Groot.
And I'm Groot. And I actually brought the orb from the Guardians movie and did a video about the fact that we commandeered the orb. And so then I said, Groot said in my ear, I'm the captain now. And I was like, oh, so I'm the captain? I'm like, wait a minute. Are you the captain? Are you talking about you or me?
Yeah.
And then the video cuts. So I always have some fun with Do Diz with Dan. And, you know, I love Food and Wine Festival. I love going and eating the different food. So, I mean, really, man, I get up. I'm a big kid. I go out. I live my life. I let the wind take me where it takes me. And, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing I've learned about my life is just get up, appreciate that God woke you up, have a plan, let it change because it will, and be totally fine in your own skin and be by yourself. I have been to Disney a billion times by myself, and I have no problem with it at all.
Yep.
So I actually like it. If you're going to go with somebody that, like, is going to go with you and not
enjoy it and not be like, let's go home.
I'm going to say, I've never said it this way before. I'm going to put this on a t-shirt. Go with someone that's going to go with you, not at you. Because if you don't want to go on the ride, then you can sit and wait for me to finish because I'm going on the ride.
I'm going.
All right, my last one for you. If we went to Disney right now, because you and I have never gone together.
Right.
So if we went to Disney right now, what park would we go to? What would we do?
I'm a Splash Mountain guy, so
Okay.
Magic Kingdom
would
be my number one. I mean, followed by, what is it at Hollywood Studios? It's the elevator one, Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Tower of Terror, I love
that ride.
And Rock and Roller Coaster too. So.
Yes.
And then to a lesser extent, Drink Around the World at Epcot. So.
There you go. Yeah, and right now it's
I miss Norway because I heard it's different now.
Well, but now with everything added for Food and Wine, there's 31 or 32 places to go to, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And the food is very, very good. And still, I think my favorite thing from new Food and Wine of the last couple of years is Canada's Apple Orchard, which is around the corner past Le Cellier Steakhouse, and I get a frozen apple pie drink.
Ooh.
So good.
That sounds good.
So good. So refreshing. And I gotta slow it down and not get a brain freeze because you're so hot that I want to drink everything like it's water.
Right.
And it's not all water. So you got to remember those things.
Yep.
So that's our rapid fire. Jason Lucas
Boom.
joining us here at Hooters, live from iDrive, 8801 International Drive in Orlando, Florida. We are here tomorrow to wrap up the show on the birthday of my niece Carly and my Pop Cavino, as well as my buddy James. So a happy early birthday for August 26th to everybody out there who's got the same birthday. Want to thank you all here for tuning in, watching, and listening worldwide on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, and the homepage WakeUpCallDT.com. Subscribe to WakeUpCallDT.com to listen, watch, read, and enjoy all of our content in one place. And once we go live, we go to the archive. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. And you can ask Alexa or your Google Home device to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. They'll do that for you as well. Any one of these outlets, search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora or one word Wake Up Call DT. And for all of you that have CarPlay, these will pop up. You can search us in there and you can listen to us for free. Thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, Millhouse Market, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard, known all around the world for their fantastic frittads. And I want to also thank very much so being the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single Wednesday, including yesterday. You can go back and watch our video with Tom Bonus, the head coach of the Lemoyne men's soccer team, who brought him on a preseason retreat, which was a really cool way to start off the season. Check out all of our Dolphin content in our Dolphin Time every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusive on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can find AD and DT every first and third Wednesday of each month with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, Dolphin Dive with our wonderful coaches, student athletes, as well as administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. You can get all our Lemoyne content by going to the Lemoyne tab on WakeUpCallDT.com, subscribing to YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, and for more information on your Dolphins, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of my alma mater, the Marywood University Pacers. It's Pacer Pride every Friday, including this Friday, and despite the fact that we changed our time from noon to 2, you'll get your Pacers at the same time you always do every week. At 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will be airing our exclusive First Conversation, the only place in the world to have the exclusive First Talk with Justin Patterson, just hired as the Marywood Pacers, Marywood Pacers men's lacrosse head coach. He'll be joining me to talk about his connection to Central and Upstate New York, shout out to that, and the fact that Marywood is almost a straight line 2 hours from Syracuse to Scranton, Pennsylvania. You can get all your Pacer content Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on the live feed, and you can go to the Marywood tab on WakeUpCallDT.com, as well as subscribe to YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. For more information, go to MarywoodPacers.com. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, bringing the Bobcat Buzz in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. We have gone live with exclusive First Conversations and breaking news with Clay Gagan-Sherman, Danny Frasina, as well as Tay Baker, and their baseball program that's starting up this year with Sean Peak. We've had national champion coaches on the broadcast, Alex Grigorita, as well as Nick Dmitrievsky. For all of our Bobcat content, go to the BSC-SYR tab on WakeUpCallDT.com. Go to YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. And for more information on your Bobcats, go to Syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With all that being said, you can find us on Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. I want to thank everybody that daily checks my Instagram story. As soon as there's like a lull and there's not a story, like it's a quote that comes from my heart to you, I sign everyone individually So if the quote's out there and I've signed it, then that's from my heart to yours. So thank you for those of you that inspire me, and hopefully I've inspired somebody somewhere out there that needs it right now. Jay, any final words?
Yeah, man. Horns down. Follow me at Jason Vegas 22 and Jason Lucas 10 something. Just look Jason Lucas on Instagram. You'll find me.
Yeah, you'll find him there as well. So in the meantime, as we always say on the show, God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk with you soon from Hooters iDrive in Orlando.
Down.
Hooters Week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll talk with you soon. And come out to iDrive and support these incredible girls and the awesome team. Tim Baum, happy birthday once again.